What is going on, everybody? It is episode 506 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. If you watched Culture War this morning, you might be thinking, is Donald Trump the Antichrist? But today it's going to be more, is Taylor Swift the Antichrist? And joining us today is Libby, obviously.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I'm Libby Emmons. I'm with the Post Millennial. Glad to be here.
Do you believe that Taylor Swift is the Antichrist? Just off the bat, before we even get to the topic, is she the Antichrist?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, well, we'll get into There's a lot of people who seem to believe so. There's conspiracy theories abound, which is one of the things we're going to be talking about today. But before we get into that, guys, would you hit the like button on this video, and would you subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? Thank you very much for that. We have passed 82,000 subscribers. We're on our way to 100. We're working for it. Remember, all Super Chats, $20 and over. We will interrupt the discussion. We will read them right then and there, and then we will do our best to get back on topic. Perhaps you have an opinion on whether Taylor Swift is the Antichrist, because that will be the first thing that we're going to be discussing today. But we're also going to be talking about Paris Hilton, who people are saying is taking a shortcut because she's having, her second child now, and it's
Via surrogate,
Via surrogacy. So people have questions about that, about whether that's actually, giving birth, and whether it's actually motherhood, and there's a lot to discuss. We'll get into it. Also, I found this article a couple of days ago that says, older men marrying or having kids with younger women is a 2023 trend, which I just laughed at when I read the headline. I was like,
Clearly been the year of age gaps.
Never happened before in the history ever. So we're going to get into that. Obviously, Al Pacino and his smoking hot 29-year-old wife.
The thing that's weird about it is, no offense to the woman, but she's not smoking hot. She's just 28.
Okay, let me rephrase. Smoking hot compared to him
yes.
being old,
yes.
old and dusty.
Obviously.
Literally the smoke would actually start on fire because he's old and dusty. The photos of them together, it literally looks like he's turning into dust as he walks. So we'll get into that. We got a bunch of other stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about, musician and OnlyFans star Ruby Rose might have outdone Amaranth with world's worst simp. You got to wait for this one, guys. We'll talk about that at the end because it's almost too sad.
Has she made more money from being a musician or an OnlyFans thought? Let's be honest. It's the OF, so I will not be calling her a musician. Well,
I'll wait. Maybe if she can provide the bank statements, we'll know about that. We'll figure it out, guys. So yeah, we got a bunch of stuff to get into. So if you, actually, before we even get into all of that, we got to shill merch, do we not?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
We are shilling again.
Yes.
And we have another product launched. I guess we're just doing this all week now.
Yeah. Well, we've had merch, but we just we weren't pushing a lot of it before.
So what do you have now?
Well, if you were around for Anne's Frank's hot dogs, you would know what "Let's Go" means. Basically,
it's an inside joke.
It's an inside joke, and so we do have the mugs. "Let's Go?" Because see, I was talking to someone the other day, and it is true. "Let's Go" is really just Yas Queen Slay for men.
Okay.
It is.
Is it really?
It is.
I say "let's go" though.
But for the most
I also
part,
say "bruh."
It's a guy thing, right? So "Let's Go" is a Yas Queen Slay for men. But what happened was we were discussing the nature of having Anne's Frank's hot dogs, kosher hot dogs.
They would have to be kosher.
Yes,
they're kosher.
So
and Brett just goes, "Let's go." And it really caught on in culture.
I didn't know if it was acceptable to "Let's Go" to Anne's Frank's hot dogs.
But it is acceptable to buy PCC merch.
Yes. So there is, and then we also have the shirt that Mary had made, which says, "Everything I don't like is a psyop."
It's actually true.
It's very true. It's very possibly true that everything you don't like or everything that you've ever found offensive is probably a psyop that's been made to destroy you.
Or it's woke, or it's satanic.
Yes. Everything
There's
I don't
a lot
like
of
is
weird
woke.
satanic stuff going on.
We're going to get into that, yes.
And we've also added "Let's Go" t-shirts.
Yay!
With that, so you can get the "Let's Go" t-shirt. Also, per the request of people who were chatting, there is a zip hoodie now.
A zip hoodie with a tiny TV logo.
See, I like the minimal branding.
Just a wink and a nod to any crisis actors you might come across in the wild.
To me, the minimal branding is key. So I'm going to add that right now, at least I'm going to add the link to the store.
Whoa, someone in the chat said I'm 73 with an 18-year-old. I hope you mean an 18-year-old granddaughter.
Yeah, let's hope that. So I have just tagged it right there, and then I'm going to add this to the. Now people are talking, so I'm losing it here. But You'll be able to click the link right there. It's pinned below, or it's pinned above.
I believe
so if
it's
you're
also
looking
in our description, is it not?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's in the description, so it's pinned there.
Find it there.
Somebody's saying they want an I'm not reading that shirt. They still want that one for when Mary
I'm not
decides-
reading that.
Yeah, I'm not reading
When
that.
I don't
like
read
that.
any super chat that is vulgar, I think they like that more than if I did read it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. I think they take it as like a test. How far can we push Mary before she decides?
It's not
that-
very
I'm not
far.
reading that.
It's never very far.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, let's.
We've got the shilling out of the way.
Yep. Also, guys, so if you guys don't know, if you're a fan of the show, you know that I am perhaps the world's biggest fan of the USA Network, at least the USA Network 2006 to 2015, right? They had the era which was called Blue Sky Dramas, which was what we discussed earlier, which was the likes of Monk, Psych, Burn Notice, Covert Affairs, White Collar, Graceland, Franklin and Bash, Necessary Roughness. I could literally name them all if I wanted
like
to.
This is kind of programming I enjoy. Also.
You're literally the USA Network's #1 stan.
I've been looking
That's
for like
amazing.
USA Network shirts, but they don't
They don't exist.
There's one
They
on,
must
there's
exist
one
on
Etsy.
eBay or something.
There's one on Etsy, but I
Somebody
didn't
must
get
have got one at a corporate retreat.
So it's saying blue skies ahead. USA Network is looking to bring back breezy dramas as it re-enters original scripted series space. Yeah, in a lot of ways, Mr. Robot signaled the downfall of the
Really?
USA Network. As good as the show was, they left the tone that made the network really, really popular. What you were saying before we went live, you said what you liked about it was you had the ability to just turn it on, and it wasn't offensive. Maybe it wasn't that great,
But it was perfectly good.
and that's good.
And it didn't make you feel bad, and it wasn't stressful. And often it was
True.
funny. Monk was my favorite, and I also really liked Psych.
Yeah,
I guess you're right. Like, Mr. Robot's a stressful show. And that's totally deviating from what had been their norm for a long time. But are they going to bring back Meghan Markle for a Suits reboot? Didn't we already talk
she
about the
wouldn't
Suits reboot?
Do it. She wouldn't.
I think
do
she'd
it.
do it.
You think so?
I think she'll pivot into entertainment fully now that she's no longer.
I mean,
Duchess.
Also, her Spotify contract fell through.
Yes.
So she doesn't have her podcast anymore. And she should bring her social media back. She's not on social media. So she would need that if she continues acting.
How could she make anybody like her? Everybody thinks she's just the worst. She took a prince and alienated him from his entire family.
It's very much a marker of a psychologically abusive relationship.
It
If
sure
the genders
is.
were reversed, that's what everyone would be saying.
She doesn't let him talk to his friends. She made sure that he never talks to his brother anymore.
And it's
he
weird
never
'cause
gets to see his
Harry is
niece
like,
and nephew.
when he's on his own, he's considered relatively likable. Mm-hmm. But them as a pair just bring out the worst traits
And
in
he
each other.
never looks happy with her. He always looks like he's trying to please her and knows he's going to fail.
Well, she's very obviously using this like Freudian tactic of trying to be his replacement mother.
that's
Is the
just so
replacement
sad.
of Diana in his psychological framework. It's very
Mm-hmm.
messed up. But anyway, we did talk about the Suits reboot that was announced. So I was wondering, obviously, if she was going to be involved in it.
I don't know, but it says after the end of the writer's strike, NBC Universal scripted executives put out feelers about their USA plans and already have identified a handful of ideas they are considering for development, but there are no deals yet. What's funny is like a lot of those shows for their time period were actually progressive, or at the very least had messages that both men and women could really get behind. So there was a show called Necessary Roughness starring Callie Thorne and Mehcad Brooks before he did Supergirl. And she plays a therapist to a pro football team. I don't even know how that would work with doctor-patient confidentiality, but the premise was fun. And in the show, she's a struggling but dedicated single mom. And that was something where in an age now where all the female characters seem to be designed to act like men, it was kind of nice to see someone who didn't have to fit into that mold just because that's where entertainment was going at the time.
She has emotion and
Yeah.
intuition
Yeah.
central to her character.
And in the end was already like on its way for the network too. Like when Burn Notice was reaching the end of the show, like they started making the themes darker and darker in like the last 2 seasons, and it lost its charm, right? They even like, I always say the death knell for the show was like they changed the outro theme song, which was always light and fun, to this like really, really dark, heavy guitar riff, which just didn't fit with the intro of the show or the tone of the show in the previous 5 seasons. And I think part of that is because for a lot of entertainment, kind of like how when they make sequels, the only thing you can do is to make more, bigger, rather than figuring out what works and sticking with it.
Right.
The best shows figure out the formula. That's why network TV shows end up being as successful as they are, because they figure out what works and then they stick with it.
And then they just
forever.
stick with it the whole time.
Yeah.
They never change it. Yeah, USA is like, it should have like cozy mysteries on it. You know, stuff like that. It should. You remember that show Pushing Daisies?
Yes.
No.
I think I was like the only person that liked that show.
There was other networks
have
at
that.
the time that did the same thing. TNT had Leverage, which was really, really good, and A&E had Longmire, which was slightly more serious.
Oh, I liked Longmire until it got to a certain point.
Yeah.
And then it just got terrible. And I only really watched it because what's her name was on it, and she played Starbuck in Battlestar.
Katie Sackhoff.
That's the one.
Yep. And it
Which
also
network had the Hawaii Five-0?
That was network TV.
Yeah, that was network. No Hawaii Five-0 can be as good as the original stuff.
Oh, I love the reboot. With
Did
Scott.
you
I
like
never
it?
watched the
I love the
original, and
reboot.
I only watched the reboot.
Oh, okay, that's
So-
funny.
But like there were shows like Warehouse 13.
Didn't they try and
Eureka.
redo Magnum too?
Yes, that one's just ending the air this year.
Is it?
And, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, what was it? Sci-Fi did Warehouse 13 and Eureka. And although those are science fiction shows, they all fit into that same criteria that you were just saying, which is that you could just turn it on at any point. Doesn't matter whether you had seen the previous episode or not. You would still find something inoffensive that was fun to watch.
Right.
And there was a lot of really, really good stuff at that
Well, here's
time
something
period.
that's offensive and not fun to watch. A girl boss assassin series starring Hannah Waddingham and Octavia Spencer, described as Thelma and Louise meets Jack Ryan. So we have a gender swapped Jack Ryan.
Look, I don't know who Hannah Waddingham is, but she looks
I've never
like she's
seen
playing
her.
Pink in this.
Well, she
photo.
looks like someone who would play an unflattering depiction of Megyn Kelly.
She does look rather, yeah, she doesn't look great.
And I don't buy Octavia Spencer as an action star.
I don't buy her as an
No.
assassin.
Even as a comedy, I don't think it will work.
I mean, maybe if she was like just, you know, making potions and stuff, you know, but like I don't see her actually going out there and intentionally harming people.
but
Aren't female spies supposed to be hot?
Yes, they
That
are.
I thought, yeah, that was the rule.
They are.
Like La Femme Nikita and Jamie Lee Curtis
Oh.
in that one movie.
Another reboot that I actually like, the Nikita reboot that was on the CW back in like
I remember that.
2010 with Maggie Q was good.
Yeah.
Back when the women were hot, right? She was.
It's true, though.
And the reason I mention that is
Well,
because
they knew what the job was.
Yeah.
The job was to put a hot girl in the show.
Yeah.
That's the job.
And in that show, her and Lindsay Fonseca are both very, very attractive, conventionally attractive women who understand because they use sex appeal most of the show because men are, you know, very, very easily manipulated through,
Well, it's
through things like
effective.
that. It's effective, right?
So
But not just that. The reason why Mary brings that up is because now they're not do you remember Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Brad Pitt, Angelina
Yeah,
Jolie,
yeah.
2005. Well, they're making a Mr. and Mrs. Smith television show. And it's starring Donald Glover, and her name is Maya Erskine, or Erskine, right?
I don't know who that is.
Erskine. I mean, with a name like that,
She's a voice actress, I think, before this. My
a
problem...
voice actress. Oh, well, that makes sense.
My problem with this is like Donald Glover is popular in Hollywood, and this woman is not unattractive, but Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were the height of sex appeal in Hollywood.
They
in
were
2000
superstars.
in 2005, right?
Yeah.
Got a $20 from Culture Casino. All the well-written network-style shows went to premium streaming. An example is Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. Season 1 is headed to ABC to fill the content gap due to strikes. Hopefully, network shows return.
I can't,
What is that show good?
A lot of people really like it.
Because I was considering watching it.
Yeah.
But I forgot.
I can't commit
forgot
to,
I was-
to new stuff. I can't. I'm waiting for Reacher season 2, and that's literally it. That's the only thing I care about.
I still just watch reruns of DS9.
That's for me. It's what was I watching last night? I was watching reruns of Eureka and reruns of the Lethal Weapon TV show from 2019, which is the last, in my opinion, the last fun show that was made before it all went really, really, really bad. There was a lot of really, really bad stuff that happened between 2016 and 2019. This is at the latter end of that, where they got like 2 good seasons out of Damon Wayans and Clayne Crawford, and I haven't really watched anything on network television since then. There was in the old NCISs, there was a show called NCIS Los Angeles, which had a character named Kenzie Bly, whose dad was a Marine, and she grew up on military bases, and she was always in the show portrayed as a woman who grew up around men, understood the sensibilities of men. But the problem is, much like he says in The Dark Knight, says you live long enough to, you're either die hero or you live long enough to become the villain, see yourself become the villain. She mentions like man spreading in like a later season, which earlier seasons of the character never would have ever said something like that.
So they got bad writers.
Yeah. And they don't care about the history of the character, right?
I hate when that happens. I hate when they replace the writers who started the show with people who just don't get it and didn't follow along and don't know what they're doing. I hate that.
And I don't know if they're expected to understand, like, because most of these things have what's called like a show Bible, which means like all of the interactions is so that you can keep continuity as accurate as possible. Timelines will change sometimes just because they have to. Characters will be aged up or aged down.
But you'll put stuff in, like this character went to X school or whatever it is. You know?
So my problem here is I just don't believe that Donald Glover and this woman are on the same level as, say, an Angelina Jolie or a Brad Pitt. So I fan casted for myself who I would have casted if I had done that. For him, I would have done John David Washington, who is kind of a star on the rise now. That's Denzel Washington's son. Or you get Michael B. Jordan, who has strong star power, but might be hard to get to do 8 episodes of television. For the young ladies, what I would prefer you do is you do Elodie Young, who is in G.I. Joe.
I just remember her from her annoying character in Gray Man on Netflix.
But she was also in Daredevil. She played Elektra.
But that's also operating on the mandate that it has to be a black man and an Asian woman.
Yes, I'm operating under their pretense right
now. And that pretense doesn't need to exist.
Erskine is Asian?
Yeah, she is.
And then or Jessica Henwick, who's also part of Marvel. She was in Iron Fist, which nobody liked except for I actually didn't hate the first season. But she went on to she's become this actress who plays like quirky cyberpunk. Right. So, but she's attractive. She could absolutely do this role. Or you get Gemma Chan, who's also a Marvel actress, who's very, very big right now. And all of these people probably would have been a better, more believable casting.
Well, but all I'm saying is it makes sense that she's a voice actress.
Yes.
Why? Do you don't think she's pretty? She looks very plain.
I don't think she's
not as pretty as Brett's suggestions is all I'm saying, and she's not Angelina Jolie in 2005.
That was my logic. It's like, look, if you're trying to find someone that's going to be even close to the same status as what Angelina Jolie was,
we're not the assholes for pointing it out and noticing the difference. So like this exact thing happened when I claimed that Renee Rapp is obviously not as attractive as Rachel McAdams in 2004, who played Regina George.
Yeah.
And I'm the bad guy for even noticing the downgrade. Like, no. We should see hot people on TV.
Yeah, I totally agree. Have I told you this before? I used to work with this director, this guy, Michael Leland, who has since passed. But he said to me repeatedly, he would say, Libby, ain't nobody want to see ugly people on stage.
They don't.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, that is correct.
Remember Lizzo's speech? She said, like,
always beautiful people.
When I was growing up, I never saw someone who's fat like me and black like me and beautiful like me on TV. So I guess I have to be the one to change that.
Oh, the narcissism.
There were plenty of black people on TV when Lizzo was growing up, by the way.
Well, there was
they just weren't obese.
There were obese black women on TV when I was growing up. There was Nell. Remember that show? You guys do not remember that show. What was it called? Nell.
Lizzo is what, like 27 or something?
Yeah, she's probably...
Yeah, there was Give Me a Break. Give Me a Break. Did you guys remember this show? This is from the 80s.
No.
And it had Nell Carter on it.
Okay.
And Nell Carter is, she was... Wow, she looks skinnier than I remember. At the time, we considered her to be very fat.
What was considered fat at the time is much different than it is today.
Whoopi Goldberg wasn't fat.
Wasn't considered fat?
She wasn't, because she wasn't fat at first.
Yeah.
She didn't get fat till after Sister Act.
I was going to say, Sister Act was a thing.
But also, wasn't like the first black woman to be nominated for an Oscar or something? What was What was her name? She was a large woman as well. Probably we'll go back and look, and she's actually just a 12.
From Disney, the one who was in Song of the South, or
no, why am I forgetting?
Oh, also somebody mentioned Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah was a bigger black woman who was always really, really good. If you haven't seen The Bone Collector, where she plays Lincoln Rhymes' caregiver, you should go and watch that. It's good.
Yeah, it was Hattie McDaniel for Gone with the Wind.
Oh, okay.
And that was in 1939. So
Right.
Lizzo, just like everybody, has no concept of history or even the history of entertainment, which she was criticizing. So that's,
Right.
you know.
It's a problem. So yes, you want to see traditionally. Let's rephrase. There is the right body size or look for every role, but the roles that tend to be the most interesting to people, right, tend to require you to be a good-looking person, right? There was a tweet that went kind of viral recently. Did you see the thing? It said, like, name a show in the last 15 years where the male lead is married with or without kids, is considered good at his job or competent and loved by his family members, and is seen as a provider, right?
That, yeah.
And to be fair, I don't think the guy's right. I think there are plenty of examples and plenty of people pointed them out in there. Most of them straddling the line of like the 15-year mark, right? Like one of the top ones was Friday Night Lights. But there's a lot of shows with like in Blue Bloods, Donnie Wahlberg's character would absolutely be considered that, right? There's a lot of examples in the show Madam Secretary, which to be fair, he isn't the starring character, but Taya Leone, the guy who plays Taya Leone's husband, I think it's John Daly. He's like what do you call it? He works for like a Catholic church, or no, not the Catholic church. He's like a Catholic theologist. He's like a Catholic theologist at a college.
Theologian, yeah.
He's like
Theologian,
a theologian
that's the
at,
word.
at a college,
That's the word,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's so he works at a college. He teaches theology, and he used to be a Marine and worked for the CIA. More than competent, right? So, and they're good parents in the show. So it does exist.
I just noticed that in all of the Disney Channel shows or Nickelodeon shows that I grew up with, it was always a single parent, and weirdly, usually a single dad.
There was a lot of that. There was a lot of single dads.
A lot of it was always this
Remember that.
backstory was there's a dead mom for no reason in every show.
The point being, I think, for like a lot of people, when they're pointing these examples out, they're saying, like, look, usually good stories come from conflict. Conflict comes from irregular situations. You're not going to make the most interesting story in the world out of a dad who goes to work 9 to 5 and is loved by his wife and kids as the only premise for the show.
Does
Doesn't
Walter
mean it
White
shouldn't-
count?
People kept giving that example too. They kept
Or is he
referencing
not
Walter
considered
White.
competent?
He's definitely
there
competent.
used to be a lot of these shows, and then what happened is they started making the dad just be sort of a buffoon. So Bob,
Homer Simpson.
yeah, Homer Simpson. But even before that, there was this Bob Newhart show where Bob played, Bob Newhart's a pretty funny guy. He played a psychiatrist or something, and he was married. And the network came to him and said, we were thinking of, you guys will have kids. And they laid out this show where there'd be children and everything. And he said, okay, but that sounds great, but who are you going to get to play Bob? Because he just didn't want to be this dad getting made fun of and picked over and always being the butt of everybody's jokes.
Yeah. And I think that part of that kind of signals the way things are going in society right now. We talk a lot about how men are more subdued than they've ever been in history, right? Because actual masculine behavior has been kind of denigrated and pushed out of the limelight. You're not seeing as many great examples of it, especially not done in a way that's actually culturally fair to what fair to what they're doing. They're always portrayed as either overly domineering, or they don't do anything at all and they're a wet rag.
Right.
So let's wait and see, but I don't really believe that the Mr. and Mrs. Smith TV show is going to be all that great. You're not going to have Doug Liman involved, who is the director. It's just not going to be all that great. But has anybody here gotten their Christmas shopping done?
Nope.
No? Last minute?
I've only got stuff for my kid, but I pretty much only go shopping for my kid, and everybody else can suck it.
Do you wait for the last minute?
To buy stuff for my kid?
Yeah.
No, I start shopping for him in August.
Okay.
And then we have no season, which is the entire fall. Mom, can I have this? No.
Oh yeah, you get the blanket excuse, like put it on your Christmas list. Put it on your Christmas list. Put it on
and
your
then
Christmas
often
list.
I will just get him stuff, and he won't know because he'll ask for something and I'll say no, and then I'll buy it.
No. There's a $20
I remember
one
that
right
a lot
there.
as a kid. Yeah. The Ninja Bear said, Mary, just embrace your villain arc already. By the way, I asked Tim to play movies you haven't seen in the studio. Gemma Chan was awesome in Truman's.
Humans.
Oh, Humans. What did you guys think of Rescue Me?
Love Rescue Me. Yeah.
Never seen.
Yeah, you should check that. Another show that has plenty of culturally insensitive things being said all the time in discussions of political correctness. I definitely recommend checking that one out.
My villain arc.
Yeah, you're in your villain arc.
Am I?
Also, people were saying you guys should do like a watch party. We can't do that on YouTube. We will get struck down.
I don't know how Chrissy Mayer does it.
Yeah.
She does watch parties on her
How
channel.
does she do it?
It must be that you just obscure like the screen. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it related to Christmas shopping,
Yes,
as you
yeah.
said. I mean, Toys R Us is a thing of the past, but California
no, it's-
stores will now be fined if they don't have a gender-neutral toy section.
I thought all toys were gender neutral because boys and girls could play with anything.
That's what I said.
Right?
We're crazy. We're the crazy ones.
But Toys R Us is coming back. It's back in Macy's
really?
form. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So now you can
Okay.
go to Toys R Us. It's like a whole section in Macy's.
Interesting.
I was
See,
recently
kids
at
are the
one.
only people that, like, shopping for them is fun.
It's awesome.
Shopping for adults sucks.
Yeah. Because adults either get what they need or you can't afford the thing they want. It's like,
Right.
my brother wants a new computer, and I'm like, that's great for you. I hope you get one.
Then
Good
your
luck
only
to
choice
ya.
is getting something they didn't need or want.
Don't need, don't want. You know? Yeah.
I hate like when people ask like what would you like for Christmas? I'm like just nothing. I'm good. Socks. I'll take socks. I love new socks.
Socks are always good. I have some favorite socks.
Yeah.
I had some favorite socks, and then they I think if I recall correctly, they started not advertising with the post millennial on purpose, and I was like, I'm never buying your socks now.
Not good.
I forget what it was.
Because of skating, I go through socks like twice as fast, right? They get ruined much easier. So I'm like, new socks are a beautiful thing. I'll never say no to
Yeah.
socks.
My kid gets new socks every year for Christmas.
But there's a brand new law that says shops with more than 500 employees statewide must have a gender-neutral area by January 1st, or risk incurring a $500 fine under the. Would that be like $500 fine every day?
Wait a minute. Does this mean that does needing to have a gender-neutral area mean you have to have a boys area and a girls area? Can't you just like take your toy section and be like gender-neutral toys, just put up a sign and you're done?
Likely, but they probably don't want to do that.
But like, why would you need a boys section? So this means that you need to have gendered toys. It's not that you need to have gender neutral toys. You need to have boys toys and girls toys in order to have a third category.
Because everything needs a label.
Everything needs a
obviously.
label. That's a very stupid way to go, because where are you going to put the Legos? Are you only going to put the Friends series of Legos in the girls section?
Yes.
And you're going to put all the other Legos in the boys section, except for which ones? Like the ones that don't have any instructions, the just basic Lego brick sets.
Yeah.
I don't get this because
Where do you put hula hoops?
I was
Where
a
do you put
very
teddy bears?
The pink hula hoops go in the girls section.
Yeah.
The blue hula hoops go in the
But
boys
what
section.
about the pink hula hoops that actually belong in the boys section for the gay children?
They have to shop in the gender neutral section then. That's what it's for.
So
They'll have a gay son section and a thought daughter section.
you know what
I?
right? They'll have exactly.
But,
If I had one of these toy stores, or if I had a Macy's in California that has a Toys R Us or whatever, I would just call the whole thing gender neutral toys. And if they came at me, I would take this ish to the Supreme Court. Damn it.
Yeah.
A new
That's what I
toy
would do.
chain called Gender Neutral Toys.
I can see
Just
the business.
GNT.
GNT.
The bill argues customers can identify unjustified differences in similar products for boys and girls if the toys are displayed closer together in an undivided area of the sales floor. Just remember, California, this is what your tax dollars are going to spending.
Lucky you.
Arguing about, right? Like somebody somewhere made a bunch of taxpayer money arguing with someone about this.
This was I remember writing about this a year ago or so, because Gavin Newsom started bitching about it then. Like, we need to have our toys divided by gender for no apparent reason, to make everyone feel better, except for the people who don't need that, or even want that. Because then also what you're saying is you are saying to your kid, pick any toy you want, make sure that it conforms to your interpersonal identity, which makes no sense.
A lot of boys who like playing with dolls and pink things would be saved all of this trouble and heartache if we didn't think of it as, you have to be a girl then.
Right. And a lot of girls who would just like to buy a pickup truck toy Matchbox car thing.
I don't understand it because I was a very girly girl growing up and didn't have any tomboy tendencies whatsoever. And my brothers were very boyish and just liked, race cars, Legos, Nerf guns.
Ooh,
like
the
we
Nerf
didn't have all
guns.
this confusion.
Yep.
We just gravitated towards what we gravitated towards, and our parents didn't try to force us out of that.
Oh, my mom totally tried to force me into different stuff because I really liked Barbies, and she thought that Barbies were shallow.
Oh, so many people think that. It's so annoying.
And I did not think that they were shallow. I thought that they were great. I mean, they're storytelling toys, right? You tell stories with your Barbies.
Have you seen that people resell them? They acetone all of the paint off of these dolls and repaint their faces to look more
Weird.
plain and less pretty. To
Why?
resell them so that girls don't feel insecure.
There's a $20
I
super
didn't
chat
feel
here.
insecure about
There's a
Barbies.
$20 super chat here from Chris Noski. He says we can get Brett the gender neutral gift of mocha this year. # justice for mocha. There will be no justice whatsoever for the derpy cat. The derpy cat will never be seen on the show again. I'm sorry to say it. You can keep super chatting. I'll keep reading it, but the derpy cat gets no love on the show.
That makes me think, did you guys ever get a pet as a Christmas gift?
No, that always seems like it seems like a lot of unwanted gift, because even if you like your pet, it's like, here is a companion that you will have for the next 15 years. Ah!
Oh my goodness.
Stink bug.
What just happened?
Where is it?
You got attacked.
Is it off me?
It's off
I
you.
think so, yes.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
You okay?
I'm okay.
She's okay.
I don't like bugs.
Well, we're not huge fans either here.
No.
But,
Yeah, no.
There are stink bugs here once in a while.
Yeah. I occasionally have them at my house, but they don't tend to
It's West
attack me in
Virginia.
the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For this show, much like the Crisis Party, we're just kind of numb to it now.
Yeah. Well, I had one time I was on Timcast and I didn't even see it, and it was like right here on
Yeah.
the mic, and Tim pointed it out and I freaked out. I lost my train
Get
of
in the
thought.
IRL studio as well.
The whole thing. They're everywhere.
Says we need to stop stigmatizing what's acceptable for certain genders and just let kids be kids, the lawmaker said.
Okay, so the exact opposite of what you're doing.
Yeah, the law is anathema to his point.
My hope is the bill encourages more businesses across California and the U.S. to avoid reinforcing harmful and outdated stereotypes. The bill, for purposes of this provision, would include a parent's affirmation of the child's gender identity.
What the hell is
or
that?
Gender expression. It says that in September, a California bill passed allows judge to consider a parent's desire for affirming their child's gender in custody disputes. That's what they're talking about here.
Oh, well, that's a thing too. In California, if you don't affirm your child's gender, then the other parent is going to get custody.
Absolutely insane.
It is absolutely insane. And also, the entire point of these laws and these restrictions is to box children up. It's not to give them any freedom. This doesn't give kids more freedom. It gives them substantially less.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, and my mom used to take me to FAO Schwartz, and it was like a huge treat. And in New York,
What is that?
FAO Schwartz,
think
it
I've
is
heard
a
of it.
defunct toy store.
Okay.
But it was, I don't know if you know this Tom Hanks movie, Big. Did you ever see that?
Oh, it was that.
It's that store.
Okay.
And it was like this toy mecca. It was spectacular. And then eventually Toys R Us bought it, and then they ran it into the ground, and then Toys R Us got run into the ground, and then that was the whole thing. But my mom would take me to FAO Schwartz, and you would just walk around. There was no, there were sections by brand of toy or by kind of toy. There was like a whole, toy music section, Barbie section.
Go there
were
for yo-yos.
there was all
to get
kind of
good
stuff.
Yo-yos.
They had the best stuff, but there was you didn't feel like you were in the wrong section if suddenly you were standing before a wall of Transformers. You were like, oh, there's cool, and there are a million of them.
Yeah. Yep.
It was great.
Does Target have gendered toy sections for boys and girls?
I don't know.
I'm sure that there's no
I live closer to a
signage.
Walmart, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah.
There will be now.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about them letting Alex Jones back on Twitter?
Well, they're not actually doing it.
But that's
it's
what I
not
asked. How do you
confirmed.
feel about it?
There was didn't Elon Musk say he was going to run a poll?
Yeah, but then I didn't
haven't
see the
seen
poll.
the
He didn't
poll.
post
There's
the
no
poll.
poll.
He just lied.
Bro, you know who's going to win that poll. That's why
Alex
he's not
Jones
posting
will
it.
win the poll.
Yeah, so the quartering said, think about how much letting Alex Jones back on X would make the machine rage at Elon Musk. It's time. And Elon replied saying, "We'll consider, in general, since this platform aspires to be the global town square, permanent bans should be extremely rare. Also, if he does say something false on the platform, community notes will correct him, whereas that would not be the case elsewhere. Let's hold a poll," and then there's no poll. So it doesn't seem like Elon wants to follow through on that promise.
Well, I heard he was a free speech absolutist.
I heard on Culture War that he's the false prophet.
Is he? Is he? Is that what he is?
Well, that Trump is the Antichrist and that Elon is the false prophet.
I don't know. Elon's a hard one to pin down, right? Because I think he's just one of those people who's very good at saying just the right thing that he needs to the people that he has in his audience, right? He always has the right thing to say, or at the very least, what sounds like the right thing to say in the moment.
Yeah. I am excited to see the Tucker Carlson interview.
Oh, it was great.
I haven't seen it yet.
I watched it last night.
Yeah, so they actually go through all of the things he's been accused of saying in full context.
It was actually really fascinating. I didn't know Alex Jones. I hadn't really been familiar with his work, and then I met him at an event in Austin at some point, whenever that was. I think it was in the spring, and I was doing a panel, and he was on the panel, and he sat down, and he was like one of the most gentlemanly gentlemen I had ever met. He was very kind.
He's
and
a sweet guy.
Yeah.
It's a $20 super chat there, Mary. Do you want to read that one?
I can't see it now.
From Destiny, I'm going to read this. It says, "Hey, Mary, I need some relationship advice." He says, "I think my wife is cheating on me behind my back." How do you think so? What should he do?
You're not going to read the rest of it?
I'm going to keep going. First of all, it says, should he do something about this? He says, "She's cheating on me with a black guy. Wait, never mind. I just turned around. He's white."
Oh, dear.
You should probably look into that.
She should
probably
probably
call her out.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect advice. They should pay you millions of dollars to give advice like that, Mary. That was fantastic. All right.
For some reason, I think it's not the real Destiny.
Probably. Probably not.
Something is telling me that.
But you loved talking yesterday about Destiny. That was so great.
It's very hard to conceal my amusement at that turn of events. Did you see that?
Where he and his
Destiny
wife
getting
are
a
splitting up
divorce. Yeah.
after having a openly and much touted poly relationship, open marriage thing. I did see that, and I wish him the best.
There you go. Figure it out. Cringe or cute of the day?
You don't want to talk about CosMcs?
Oh my gosh, I forgot about CosMcs. Holy crap. Hold on, guys. McDonald's,
This is big news.
This is big news, ladies and gentlemen. McDonald's is having a spin-off to compete with Starbucks called CosMcs, which I will never call CosMcs. It will be called McCosmics for as long as it exists.
So
McCosmics.
I'm looking at the drink
McCosmics
menu.
is better.
Yes,
That's better.
it is. McCosmics is way better.
This is single-handedly going to just like double the obesity epidemic.
Let's go.
I'm seeing a
The menu.
churro frappe, s'mores
No.
cold brew,
my
sour
goodness.
cherry energy burst,
Churro frappe
tropical
looks good.
spiceade, blueberry ginger boost,
Oh, the turmeric spiced latte. That actually sounds pretty good.
chai frappe. Yeah, I mean, I already get my coffee from McDonald's to begin with, so I don't really have a need for this.
I like the food. I like there's just a twist
Oh, those
cone.
pretzel bites look great.
Is the twist cone supposed to be for breakfast? Is it just
I
cool to
hope
eat
not.
ice cream for breakfast now?
Look at these McPops. They're
No, they look disgusting.
They're like bumbalinos.
Ew.
I'm ready. Like I like the idea that they're just here to usher in the era where you can order ice cream for breakfast without shame. You just go there and they're like, "What do you want? Pizza? What do you want?"
I've eaten ice cream for breakfast before.
Me too, but I'm not proud of it.
No, I wouldn't.
You're not supposed to be.
I wouldn't go out in public to do it.
See that's the thing though.
You will stumble to the freezer. Just
Yeah.
give me the fucking thing.
If more people embraced that shame every once in a while with the rest of their lives, you wouldn't do everything in excess, right? So you can do it once in a while.
What happened to McCafe?
Isn't that's like their proprietary coffee at their actual McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get it every morning because it's 99 cents.
That's fair.
For a large iced coffee. That's unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really have a need for CosMcs.
McCosmics.
Is it McCosmics?
No, it should be.
Thank you.
Let's go. Quicker.
I like that.
Yeah, it's
I like
quicker.
that one.
That's new, right?
That's
a
It's a
new.
new one.
He's a punk. Can you hear his voice?
It's with Ian's punk rock impression.
Nice.
And this is relevant to me because I have recently given up soda, so I'm on less sugar. I literally have to drink 0 sugar, which does literally nothing. I'm sitting here and you get nothing out of it, but it's good, right? To drink and try to consume at least a little bit less sugar in your life.
This just adds like more things that I'm not going to eat to the world.
Yes.
Because the problem with this stuff is like, it's not that it's not delicious, but once you start eating it, then it becomes part of your repertoire, and then you're in trouble.
Yeah. And fast
Because I would eat those little Bombolino things constantly. Those look so good.
They don't look good. They look gross. They're like oozing.
I know.
Oh, somebody points out. Okay, we got a $20 super chat here from Party Like 1776. Says, but if it's McDonald's, then will the ice cream machine actually be working? That's a good
better
question.
be.
That is a fair point.
One of my favorite memes is like it's a McDonald's parking lot, and there's a Dairy Queen truck in the parking lot. It says they finally called the experts to fix the ice cream machine. I love that idea. It's always working. They just don't feel like. What did you say, Mary? It's always working. They just don't feel like cleaning it.
It's when they haven't cleaned it is when they have to tell you it's broken. Obviously.
Well, I bet it's gross to clean. I bet it's super disgusting.
Also, I don't understand frappuccinos. Just have some dignity and order a milkshake. That's what you're drinking. It's not coffee. It's a milkshake.
All of these things look like things that I would eat and then probably ask myself, like, what am I doing with my life when I'm done? Which I try to not do.
I also have sheets for when I want shitty food.
Yes.
So
there's plenty of that.
No thanks, McDonald's.
All right. What would you ladies like to see? Cringe or cute of the day?
Up to you, Libby.
Oh, I would go with cute.
Cute first?
Right.
Okay, we'll do cute of the day first here. We got a couple of them. This one's from Pigtaku. Says... Ronan got okay to be out cone full time now. Finally came back to my bed. My dude's tail won't stop wagging.
Oh, cone of shame is gone.
No more cone of shame.
We have the happy ending.
Oh, cute.
Well, nobody wants the cone of shame.
He has missed the bed.
Yes. Okay, so I have a great story. I had a friend. His dog, we loved him. He was fantastic. He was so old. For ages, right? And this was there was a day when I showed up, and he has the cone on his head. He just gotten back from the hospital, and my friend was he hadn't gotten back from work yet, and he was just so old and so tired and so lazy, and we loved him for it. But the cone got stuck in the corner of a light socket, right? And he just pulls on it twice and just gives up and goes to sleep.
Right there,
just
right
fell
there.
asleep right there. I was like, I gently removed it from the thing. He didn't even get up. He just stayed sleeping there the whole time.
I'm not a dog person, but I like older dogs more because they're chill.
Yeah, we like chill. We got one more here. This one is from Paris Clark. Says the cute of the day should be the spawns of my lovely 304 house kitty.
304 house kitty.
It's a slutty house kitty.
She got preggers out in the wild by some feral baby daddy. They're cute. They look so stupid. I like their blue eyes.
But not derpy, which is
not
what's
derpy,
important.
but
Yeah.
just stupid.
Right.
I love their blue eyes. Cats have that's like rare. They usually have green.
Yep. All right, let's do cringe of the day. Mary found this one here. We got this one here. What is this? It says, I need 1 million episodes of this. Let's listen to what this is. Mary found this
And
one.
with the black
Well, let's turn that down first of all. Holy shit.
community.
Yes.
So why are you sitting? Get up!
How
How many black friends do you have?
Multiple.
Name them.
Isaiah.
Not the people in the room. Okay, who is your favorite civil rights activist, but you can't say Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, or Martin Luther King?
I have no idea.
So you don't know any. So why are you laughing? Do you think it's funny that people fought for rights? It's even funnier. Oh. Who is your favorite black person?
Like famous or like not?
Just answer the question.
Nicki Minaj.
So you're saying all black people are rappers?
No, you just asked me.
So you equate black people to rappers?
Not really.
This man
Well,
is
that's literally what you
intolerable.
said because you said your favorite black person was Nicki Minaj. So your mind simply went to
I'll
rappers.
give you a black person that's not a rapper.
Give Wayne one.
Candace Owens.
Okay, I'm gonna say a word. You said the first word that comes to your head. Okay, black people.
Racism.
Wow.
You just said that.
All right, black people or freedom?
Whoa. I'm gonna take freedom.
It's the same thing. What was your favorite thing about Obamacare? You think Obamacare is funny and underprivileged people dying because they don't have health care is funny? And you're laughing even harder. All right, you're done. Are you racist? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, name every black person ever.
Martin Luther King.
Ice Spice or civil rights?
Oh shoot, Ice Spice.
What's so funny? If the white community has 5 apples, how many apples does the black community have?
5 apples also.
Do you think oppression is wrong?
Of course.
Oh, so you think it's funny though?
I think you're funny.
Okay, laugh if you're racist. Who is your favorite black person?
Chidi.
Why? Is it because I'm literally standing right in front of you? Name someone else.
Well, I figured.
Name someone else.
Why would you let this dude talk to you like that? I know he's trolling, but
I know he's
like,
trolling.
Did
Yeah,
they all
it's
go to
like-
Vanderbilt? Is this like a Vanderbilt thing?
Oh, maybe. I get that it's self-aware and everything,
Yeah.
but
That's crazy that the girl mentioned Nicki Minaj and then Candace Owens.
the part that was that was like, do you stand with the black community? Why are you sitting? That kind of got me.
That was horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's annoying. That guy's annoying.
All right. Let's go ahead and now that what are we? We are 47 minutes into the show, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get started. So the other day, Taylor Swift was named Time Magazine's Person of the Year, as I like to mention, also joining the ranks of Donald Trump and Adolf Hitler and various other cultural.
You can't mention him.
You can't mention him. Other culturally influential people in American history, actually world history, I suppose. And after the naming of her as Person of the Year, Taylor Swift ignited a bunch of what they call far-right conspiracy theories related to her relationship to the Church of Satan
Yes.
and various other things.
Yes, and earlier in the week, we did talk about a clip of Taylor Swift at a concert that went viral because she appeared to be performing on top of a black cube, which has many esoteric, conspiratorial associations with it. And now, according to Rolling Stone, Taylor Swift's Time cover is breaking far-right brains. Her success is throwing right-wingers into a conspiracy theory frenzy.
Yeah. Hold on quick. There's a $20 super chat here from Crispy Like Transport LLC. Says, when is Libby going to get a Madden football account to play me online? I don't who that kid was in my high school years. His face would have beat up my hands.
What?
I read it how it was said. I don't. I'm guessing he says I don't know who that kid was in my high school years. His face
From
would
the
have
Cringe, I
beat
guess?
up my hands.
Okay.
I mean, it's clearly a troll, right? And
Yeah. So what they cite here as crazy far-right conspiracies about Taylor Swift is firstly from End Wokeness, a far-right account with nearly 2 million followers, crediting Swift with having enough Riz to convince a cult-like following to drink poisoned Kool-Aid for her. In the same post, the account prophesied that her next step would be politics, adding, if you don't think the regime has plans to weaponize her just in time for 2024, you clearly have not been paying attention. And the idea that the Democratic Party is going to use celebrities to get cultural sway is not a conspiracy. It's something that they've done before.
Sure, Paris Hilton, the whole rock the vote thing with Madonna, that was like a big
It's
deal.
nonstop.
And
In the
conservatives
90s,
had
that was
the-
a whole thing.
The conservatives had the lame redeem the vote, and then they wonder why they can't win any
And you know,
elections.
Cardi
Conservatives
B
have bad culture.
Cardi
Exactly.
B being the only person who was allowed to interview Biden running up to the 2020 election.
Or remember like how Lady Gaga was like walking around with Joe Biden and
Yeah.
she treated him like an elderly grandpa.
Oh, I mean,
and
that's
she
what
was,
he is.
I know, but she was like, "Oh, you got this. You could get through. You could walk over here." And she's like walking in her big heels and he's just tottering along and
But
he's
also
ridiculous.
remember, I mean, they use them in less obvious ways, right? So they had a bunch of celebrities come to the White House for discussing mental health as it's portrayed in entertainment, where they had Ted Lasso and a bunch of other celebrities who had shows that revolved around the topic. They know how to use the
We also
sway of
have,
celebrities.
yeah. I mean, there's also the problem though, where if you're a conservative and you're a celebrity, you tend to be like, "I'm a conservative. I'm a celebrity." You know, you like don't speak out. You don't say anything about it.
Yep.
People are afraid to.
Right-wing celebrities have to go into politics, and left-wing celebrities are safe in their own industry so they can stay there.
Yeah, right-wing celebrities usually just have to keep their mouths shut and hope to keep their job.
Yeah, so they also mentioned Jack Posobiec's tweet, which we read the other day. The Taylor Swift girl boss psyop has been fully activated. From her hand-selected vaccine shill boyfriend, Travis Kelce, to her dink lifestyle, to her upcoming 2024 voter operation for Democrats on abortion rights. It's all coming. Do you agree with that?
Jack actually did a great episode the other day on Human Events Daily with Evita Duffy, who's at the Federalist, and they dug into this whole crazy thing.
The story of her and Soros is from like 3 years ago.
Right.
Though. Like that was like, I saw people talking about it the other day. One of the things I find really interesting is how stories just resurface every couple of years. Kind of like how after, what was the publication that went out of business recently that did the article about why it's okay to hit
Jezebel.
Jezebel, like
Yes.
every few years. But before that happened, what happens is like there's no dates on these things. So stories will reappear through the algorithm. And then you have to
happened, that happened recently. There was so there was all this trouble in Ireland about immigration and whatnot, and there's a hate speech law that they've been working on for a while. And so suddenly, the next thing you know, this clip of an Irish Green Party senator starts making the rounds, and she's talking about the hate speech law, and everyone's like, "Watch this, Irish senator who doesn't care about free speech," and it started going viral and everything. And I was like, "Wait!" And somebody on my team was like, "We should write that up," and I was like, "Wait a minute, we did write that up. We wrote that up in June when it happened." And so we reposted the story and everyone was like, "Wait, this was in June?" And it's like, stop listening to literally everybody who is just trying to get their Twitter money.
I got a $30 super chat real quick from I Am What I Am. Like the new Crisis Party, free mocha.
The cat will never be free.
Oh,
the
can
cat
I
is
just
banned.
say, I'm never going to get Madden. I'm never going to play it.
There you go.
Yeah,
never
just to address that.
But the problem
I
is,
just wanted to
lay
bring
that to
up.
rest.
with these stories, what we call resurfacing, right? That's the joke. The clip resurfaces a time when it's beneficial for whoever the people are that make the clip resurface. There really is no distinguishable difference anymore between time in these things. It is almost like news is omnipresent. As long as people are talking about it, it's news.
I saw that Lauren Southern also referenced that Taylor Swift is actually secretly our ally because she hates the Soros family. And the truth is that Taylor Swift doesn't hate the Soros family. She just hates that George Soros was somewhat affiliated with the decision for her losing the rights to her music. And she'll hate anyone that double crosses her.
So what did she do? She got the rights back, but then had to re-record it all?
She did not get the rights back to her original recordings. She just has the ability to re-record, which they're going to stop other artists from doing in the future. Yeah. And it benefited her immensely, obviously.
So that's why she released all the same records again.
Yes. She can make money off those ones.
Do you think fans bought all the new records?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They were the best-selling albums this year.
Really?
And also one of the selling points to give them an incentive to listen to the new ones is she adds the vault tracks that were unreleased from previous albums. So they get something new as well as the old stuff. They also, Rolling Stone published an article called "Trump Could Tap a Taylor Swift Conspiracy Theorist as Attorney General" report. And their evidence for this is that Stephen Miller tweeted, "What's happening with Taylor Swift is not organic." That's literally all he said, and that gives them grounds to call him a Taylor Swift truther.
I love it.
That's so funny.
I hope to one day be labeled some type of truther.
Just some type.
I don't know what I'm
Just
not
like anything.
Like literally, I'm not a 9/11 truther. I'm not a Taylor Swift truther. I'm not a COVID. Maybe I'm a COVID truther. I don't know. I got to be some kind of truther.
You could be a COVID truther. You could just decide right now.
I got to work on that.
Right?
You got a $20 from Alex.
It was a lab leak.
Is it just me or is everyone else exhausted about all the celebrity opinions about everything? I know I'm 22, but I feel like before social media became huge in 2013, the only place that cared was TMZ and maybe MS Media.
Women cared.
You'd be incorrect. No,
tabloids were a thing.
It was everywhere. It was everywhere all the time, except instead of being on social media, we had all of these TV shows in the daytime that would have celebrities on, and these TV shows would start at 6 in the morning. And they would have celebrities, and they would go until until they the networks played the national anthem and put up a picture of the flag before they went off air.
People have always been.
They always
at least
cared.
Somewhat
there
interested.
used to be this show called Donahue, right? Because I am way older than everybody. So they used to have this show called Donahue that my stepmother used to watch, and she was very into this show Donahue, and he would always have celebrities on. And then the next person who got the mantle of that show was Oprah. So Donahue preceded Oprah.
Yeah.
But it was basically the same show, except it was a white guy and that was a black lady.
And back then, it is fair to say that they were probably kept in line by their agents better, and they weren't just spouting off their opinions about every single thing that mattered. You were being fed these questions on a network that had billions of dollars invested in all of these properties concurrently, so they had to make sure that everything fell into the line of what was considered socially acceptable. Nobody seems to hold the celebrities, to account for all of their crazy opinions.
Well, the other thing too is that media also wouldn't report on everything.
Yeah.
Like, it turns out that everybody knew that JFK was having an affair with Marilyn Monroe and that he had like all these affairs and stuff.
Yeah.
And the media just never reported on it. But they all knew. They just didn't say anything. They figured that wasn't their job. And you would also have like the White House being like, don't report on that. And the media would be like, okay, because it's for the national interest.
Right.
And now
that doesn't really happen as much now.
And now there is no such thing as like a weekly news cycle. It's an instant news cycle, 24 hours
It's
a day,
not even
7
24
days.
hours. It's like 10 minutes. It
Well,
keeps
it's kind
getting
of what
shorter.
allows this show to even exist as it does 5 days a week, because there is always something to talk about.
Like,
There's
literally,
always something cycling through.
There have been a couple of... Thank you!
Thank you.
We love Ian here. We love Ian. Sure. But there have been a couple of dry spells where like we've had periods of time where maybe we just we couldn't find stuff that wasn't necessarily the most interesting. But what I've noticed is like most of our announcements and stuff go in the pre-show segment where it's like industry news, things that are coming out, and then the stuff that we're talking about in the segments tends to be more esoteric, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not something that fits as
Things
well
like
into a
this.
headline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've also cited a tweet from Jeffrey Clark, the former Trump DOJ official. He added, "This is what happens when we cede culture to the left, brainless youth raising themselves on Taylor Swift's saccharine bland music, and that washing over into the serious world of politics." That's so self-indulgent to call the world of politics serious. Like, it's obviously a joke.
Not.
It's a clown show.
George
just
Santos,
as much as the celebrity world is.
George Santos exists.
Like, you can't say that. Trump became president. You can't call the world of politics serious anymore.
Also, I would love for them to provide me an example of what they think the counter, what their like counter to the art would be. What is the less vapid art that they're going to create going to be? Pop music has always been pop music. That's not changing anytime soon.
The thing is, they don't know, right? Yeah. They don't know. And he's right that the right wing has ceded culture to the left, but that's because culture was the left's purview.
Always was.
And that was okay until it started being completely ideologically driven, and they came up with this idea that all artists have to be activists or their art isn't worthwhile. Mm-hmm. And that went from the grad schools up into Hollywood. I mean, that's where it is now. That's where it landed. So, like a lot of the people I went to grad school with doing theater ended up in Hollywood writing ideological driven content.
And I guess it is fair to point out that maybe it was a little bit different, right? So the liberal of 50 years ago is infinitely more conservative than the
liberal of 50 years ago was liberal.
Yes.
And the liberal of right now is a fascist.
He also said, if we reach the point where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Taylor Swift run for office together, we will have truly reached full-on idiocracy.
Ronald Reagan was already the president. Donald Trump was already the president. Arnold Schwarzenegger was already a governor. Like, this is not new.
Yeah.
You're just now infinitely more connected to the internet, so you're being bombarded by news and information 24/7. Your brain, my brain, everyone's brain wasn't designed to handle that, ladies and gentlemen.
I think everyone just forgets what happened before.
Like with those people, like they're
like
just
with
short
everything,
attention
like
spans.
everyone just totally forgets. Like we were inundated with celebrity nonsense for my entire life, for sure, and it was true before that. Like that's just been true.
There's a $20 super chat here from Baron of Grey Matter. Says, do you know how to pronounce that? I don't know how to pronounce the first.
Cavett
And Merv Griffin. Ooh, I haven't heard
Dick
of it.
Cavett.
Yep.
Cavett.
Merv Griffin. Hey, Libby. Good seeing ya. I'm old enough to have watched all of those. Happy weekend and be well. Trump Tucker 2024.
Did you see Give Me a Break? Did you remember Nell Carter?
Trump Tucker 2024.
Melania wants that. Melania wants the Trump Tucker ticket.
Oh, Jesse Ventura. As a Minnesotan, Jesse Ventura. Fantastic. Listening to Jesse Ventura talk about 9/11. Maybe I am a 9/11 truther. Never mind. Maybe I'll do a bonus episode someday where I can I would love to do a thing where I react to old Jesse Ventura interviews. He was hilarious.
Ooh, that would be fun.
He was hilarious.
That would
Okay.
that would be a good show.
Let's get to the serious stuff, though,
Yes.
because I mean, Taylor Swift being used as a political operative for the Democrats. Boring, and we already know that that's true. It's not a conspiracy. The conspiracy I have subscribed to is the belief that Taylor Swift is actually secretly the daughter of Zena LaVey, a high priestess of the Church of Satan, and the daughter of Anton LaVey, its founder.
I've put the picture up on screen so that people can see it.
And if you look at the two of them and look at any images of Zena LaVey that are available online, you will see it is a spitting image, like an incredible doppelganger if it is just that. I mean, they look like twins. It looks like. Do you not agree?
No, they do.
It's not far-fetched.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any actual evidence of this besides the fact that they're lookalikes.
I watched a little video on this yesterday, actually. It's funny that you bring this up.
Did you see
They do look
anything that
similar.
links them besides that they look alike?
No, I did not.
Well, this says the evidence is hard to shake off, but this is
There was
the
a little.
theory.
There was a little video. Is the video in here?
Or it's not that she's necessarily Zena LaVey's daughter, but that she is an Illuminati clone made from Zena LaVey's DNA.
Yes!
Maybe she was. Maybe she was born to a surrogate pig. Remember Dolly, the cloned sheep? Oh, that was
Yeah.
a cloned sheep.
Yeah.
Sorry. Maybe she was born to a surrogate sheep.
There was an episode of The X-Files back in the first season called Eve, and it's all about eugenics and these two daughters that have been cloned, and it's so weird thinking about how much the public sentiment behind those notions has changed in the last 20 years, given the...
You think people are more in favor of
I
it
think
now?
they are. I think with I think with surrogacy becoming as common as it is, and all these things, that the term still holds a whole lot of negativity behind it. But the idea that we've gone beyond just the traditional human birth, I don't think that's something that anyone would deny. I think we've found infinitely more ways to do this than we had just 20, 30 years ago. Right?
Okay.
She's a clone.
This says that Zena LaVey was the high priestess of the Church of Satan from 1985 to 1990. Suspicious because Taylor Swift talks a big game about being born in 1989. Naming her album 1989 is clearly her desperate attempt to emphasize that she had a normal human birth and was not cultivated in a cauldron and or laboratory. The whole thing reeks of a cover-up.
Well, who is Taylor Swift's mom?
Well, her mom is she does make public appearances and they do look alike, but she looks way more like Zena LaVey than the woman who claims to be her real mother. So I don't know.
It couldn't just be that she was born that year. It has to be that she was born in a cauldron and she was created in a cauldron.
It is kind of incredible that someone as strikingly gorgeous as Taylor Swift could come from such average-looking parents. When you look at pictures of her parents, they just look totally normal.
They just look normal.
Yeah, they're not particularly attractive people, and Taylor is just like a 10 out of 10 beauty. It's weird, right?
I don't think it's that weird.
Not really. No. I don't think that's all.
I haven't known many examples of that in
Really?
my personal life.
I've seen that.
I've never seen pictures of her parents when they were young. Like, what did they look like when they were younger?
They could have just had some hard living.
Yeah.
See, they had to raise an annoying pop star.
And you did also send me this tweet about it. People are talking about it more recently. Is Taylor Swift the daughter of Zena LaVey? Hashtag we want answers. Hashtag Taylor Swift. Hashtag Swifties for Palestine.
Swifties for Palestine.
I love
idiots.
it.
And there are theories that Taylor Swift has done witchcraft rituals at her concerts, that she may have sold her soul to the devil for her extreme success. And it is unprecedented, her having this resurgence in her career at 33. The music industry isn't known for that level of longevity in anyone's career.
That is
They
true.
just have a new crop of people in their late teens, early 20s. They throw them into the fire. Some of them will survive. Most of them fall into obscurity. And Taylor Swift is now at the peak of her career.
Had, like her dad. It's kind of like Beyonce with her music producer dad, right? Like when you've got more infrastructure built into your childhood that actually keeps you in the industry, that makes a little bit more sense, right? Plus,
Taylor's story is she has a hedge fund investor father and a marketing executive mother.
What was her big break?
I guess she just told her parents, like, this is my dream, and they moved to Nashville for her. So they dropped everything for her career and became her biggest promoters. And then she made it in country music, and then left country music and became even bigger.
Yeah, well, she's doing what Maren Morris is trying to do now, which is pivot from country back into mainstream pop music.
Not going to work for
Not
Maren
going to work
Morris.
not going to work in the same context,
No.
right? People in the chat are
she
more
did
mad.
it because she hated Trump, which makes no sense.
I'm not
like,
doing
that just
country
doesn't-
And
music.
she hates
It just
country
makes no
music
sense.
fans. She hates other people
I mean,
in the
Donald
country
Trump,
industry.
like, listen to
it's
and
more that
listen to his
she-
playlist. He's not a big country fan.
No.
He's playing like what, Billy Ocean and stuff,
Well,
you know?
In that video of him with Barron in their car that Melania's like recording them, they're listening to Bad Blood.
The bug is behind you.
Oh no.
It's on the chair.
I don't know if I should kill it.
I don't know,
I
but
don't
I
see it.
just wanted you to know that it's over your left shoulder.
Oh,
It's okay.
Wait, is that your left shoulder? That's the one you're touching it. There you go.
Yeah.
I just swept it off.
Well done.
People in the comments are arguing about your statement that she's a 10 out of 10. They're saying she's not a 10.
Well, maybe that's just
She's awfully pretty.
Maybe
that's my
beautiful
female gaze. Maybe she's girl pretty
There you go.
instead of guy pretty. We're
Well,
gonna
that's
start
why she
that
has so
debate
many
again.
girl fans.
So we were talking about Satanism in pop culture on Monday because there were just so many examples of it coming up. And then Brett sent me this video of Kim Petras where she is straddling a man dressed as Satan during a live performance during the Feed the Beast tour. It's literally
Was that
called Feed the Beast.
was that when she was performing with Sam Smith and their whole Satan thing?
They have
did?
performed together.
They did a
in
whole
the
Satan
past.
thing, like
and
at the
that's their whole
Grammys.
shtick. Is
Right.
like we love
Ooh,
the
we
devil
love
and evil
and we're cute and
aesthetic.
fat.
And like what you fall back on is, oh, they're just like try hard, they're being edgelords, they don't actually believe any of these things.
It's not
That's
that I
what the
don't
devil
think-
wants you to believe.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, for real, you're right.
It's not that I think that they don't believe it. It's that I don't think that their brain ever even entertains the idea of what it means. I don't think they think
Right, that's evil.
I'm not saying that they look at this and say, I'm going to parrot this, but I don't believe it. I think they say, I'll parrot whatever you tell me. I don't care what it is.
Evil doesn't have to be intentional to be evil.
True. And when conservative leaning people look at what's going on in pop culture with all of these satanic themes and take it at face value, then they're considered conspiracy theorists. And I'm just saying, whatever we're told can't be the truth.
I mean, what are we talking about? Taylor Swift in the Mecca, or in her stage, looking like something satanic,
Looking
as
like
well?
she's on
Yeah.
top of the black cube,
Yes.
which is in Mecca.
Or it's just that we have a lot of edgelord stage designers and artists, because most of these things, it's not like she's doing her art direction. Her art direction is done by some multinational company.
She must
hires
approve it,
artists.
though.
She might approve it, but these other artists aren't necessarily doing that. Kim Petras doesn't have the final say in what the stage looks like.
Does she have a director?
She likely has a director. They have to. Like, these shows.
All of it is micromanaged down to the tiniest nanosecond.
Exactly.
Right.
So these things require a whole lot of approval on a whole lot of levels. So even if what you're saying is true and it is a form of Satanism and it's evil, I laugh because it's kind of like the banality of evil. Like it's not just Satanism; it's micromanaged, processed Satanism, which might even somehow be worse.
It's like in the Screw Tape letter,
definitely
it's that
evil.
hell
There's a
is
lady-
the most. Hell is a bureaucracy.
There's a
Right.
lady. There's a lady who's like, "Would you put the satanic stuff over?" And she's got her clipboard in her tablet, and she's like,
I'm
"Put
sure.
the satanic all altar over there, and then put the goat up there.
Well, middle
It's
management
off.
is satanic,
Yeah.
for sure. Middle management.
Absolutely is.
We looked at the Disney dating app, and every single one of the
Oh,
women on
sweet
there.
Mary, what is that?
Oh yeah, there's a Disney.
There's an adult, like there's a dating app that has specifically been made for Disney adults to find
Is it
their
just like a bunch
magical
of men
match.
with like women hips and?
No, I went on the website and I saw
mostly
that it was
women.
mostly desperate looking women.
And to me,
that's
it was a bunch
that's
of.
even sadder.
They
than
want to
the-
find their Prince Charming.
It was a bunch
Yeah.
of women who looked like they thrived in middle management. Like
Probably,
they
like,
all
they're
looked like
HR professionals
Yes,
in middle management.
absolutely.
I'm sure that
Like
Hell
they
has
have
a
two
company
people
Slack.
working under them.
What's going on in the Hell Slack? the demons just arguing with each other about. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to Super Chats.
DCNC said, "Don't reboot Brad and Angelina. Reboot Will and Jada."
Yes, you could.
What
do that.
happened there? So did he basically just get cucked, and so he's
Kind of. I mean, he's
that's so
stood
sad.
by
He
her.
was my favorite
Well, Brad also got cucked.
by Angelina Jolie. Really?
Yeah, yeah. I
I
mean,
didn't- I
she
wasn't
Not in the
following
same
that one.
way. Not even close.
not in the same way. but-
Actually, if anything, he comes out looking. He looks less cucked and more like he was like kind of an abusive dude. Probably
he was accused of abuse and human trafficking.
Yeah, but like
Human trafficking, really? I saw
Only
something about
because
that, but I didn't.
The abuse
dig into
allegedly
it.
happened on a private jet where they're crossing state lines.
Oh, come on!
Yeah.
But he made Bullet Train, and Bullet Train was fine.
It was great.
That movie is
and
great.
and I loved it. So
I actually downloaded that movie and I've watched it a couple of times.
that's hard
it's
to do these
funny.
days.
It's a funny movie.
It's hard to find movies these days that you're willing to watch.
I've watched
more
it
than
with my
once.
kid. 'Cause, yeah, it was his idea.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Feast of the Immaculate Conception. Hey, Brett. Greetings, Libby. Hiya, Mary. Mary, did you see the whatever debate last night? I have no words." Yeah, I did not watch the debate last night. I don't know if I will. They were debating about sex work, and Destiny was there.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Destiny was there just hours after everyone found out that he's getting a divorce, so that must have been awkward. He's just like debating with more anger than usual.
Yeah, it's a little bit. There's a little bit more testy than usual.
Little
I'm
bit.
sure. I'm sure. Do one more and then we'll move on.
Disco Jensen said, "Yay, super chats are working." Were they not before?
I think he was saying earlier that he was having trouble doing it on his computer. Like he was unable to get
okay.
it to work on his phone. All right, Mary, what the hell's going on with Paris Hilton?
Okay, so Paris Hilton has a reality show about her life. It's not The Simple Life. It's called Paris in Love. And recently, a scene from it went viral on social media because a therapist had to confront her about her neglect of her newborn child, Phoenix. This is her first child, and she is 42 years old. So it came out that she used a surrogate to deliver this child with her husband. And they decided this was the best course of action because Paris has a big phobia of everything having to do with the physical process of pregnancy.
Who doesn't?
and
Oh my
birth.
god, who doesn't?
Well, here was her explanation. She said,
It sucks doing all that.
when I was on The Simple Life, I had to be in a room when a woman was giving birth, and that traumatized me.
I remember that episode.
But I want a family so bad. It's just the physical part of doing it. I'm just so scared. Childbirth and death are the two things that scare me more than anything in the world.
What a moron.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie. That admitting that you're afraid of death somehow feels like oddly.
Of course you're afraid of death.
It's honest, but I think
Like who's not like sure we're
you know,
all
if you
afraid
want a
of death.
family, that is a trade-off
Yes.
that you make.
I want to be in extremely good physical shape, but the idea of having to work out is just it gives me the ick. She says.
Yeah. So the scene that went viral.
That is so dumb. That is just so dumb.
The scene that went viral basically depicts Paris Hilton having to change her son's diaper for the first time ever when he is already a month old.
I have way less issue with that than surrogacy.
Let's.
She not only commissioned another woman to gestate and deliver her son, she's also outsourced all of the work in childcare to other women. And then this therapist says, you're going to have to come to terms with like you not being your son's primary attachment figure because you're not really involved in his life. So let's take a look at this scene. It's called Grim Beyond Belief by this person.
You're bleeding a lot. So we're gonna change his diaper. Yeah. I know I said I wouldn't do this on my birthday, but
I said I wouldn't do this on my birthday.
everything's looking
Never gonna?
No.
The judgment in that lady's voice was palpable.
What's her sister?
That's her sister?
Yeah, Nikki.
Oh, this is number 2.
Yeah.
The back, yeah, same.
Who's first?
Which first? The diaper?
She's like visibly disgusted.
Okay.
Sister's Pete. Gentle. Yeah, and getting the little kisses.
I just got us a little.
Parents.
What?
Nice.
Why do you do that? Yeah, dude.
I mean, she just looks a little uncomfortable. This isn't the worst thing I've ever seen.
I don't think from anything I've heard from parents that you're ever uncomfortable or visibly disgusted by changing your baby's diaper. Because it just is what it is.
Sometimes
like that's the
it's
most
an
familiarity
issue.
you'll ever have with another human being.
Well, the most familiarity is carrying the child inside of you. And then when the child is born, you already know them pretty well.
Yes.
And they already know you pretty well. And I never wanted to be pregnant. I never wanted to be pregnant, ever. I always did not want to be, like, from forever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how you have a child, and that's how you successfully connect with your child. And I'm so grateful for that. And what Paris Hilton doesn't realize, and what the other women who are perfectly capable of having children but decide to outsource it to somebody else don't realize, is that they are fulfilling the Handmaid's Tale. That is what they are doing. Just as they lauded those women who stood in their red robes outside the Supreme Court because they couldn't get abortions on demand, what they are saying is, I am too good to gestate these children, so I will outsource it to somebody else. It is rich women servicing, their husbands are being serviced. Their reproduction is being serviced by these other women. And it's absolutely anti-feminist to rent other women and buy babies from their wombs.
Yeah. And the whole process, people don't really think about this because it's such an emotionally charged issue that there's even misunderstandings about it amongst conservatives. Because when you think about IVF and you think about surrogacy, they want you to think of the cases where it's like this couple that it unfortunately has infertility struggles, has been trying for decades to conceive, and they just can't seem to make it work, and they have to, this is their last resort. Obviously adoption comes before that, but that makes it such an emotionally charged issue that we can't talk candidly about it anymore. And this is showing obviously that feminism was always made to cater to rich women or upper middle class women who are not going to be working the same jobs as working class women. They're not going to be gestating their own babies as working class women have to. And working class women who are in a financially desperate situation sometimes have to donate their eggs, have to donate their wombs,
and
have to also sell their bodies, as well.
It's all of it, and it's a shocking imposition on a woman's body, because what people don't realize, and I make a huge difference between commercial surrogacy and an altruistic surrogacy situation, right? Like if Nikki Hilton wanted to carry Paris's baby for her, I think that's different when money doesn't change hands and you're not renting women and buying children. I think there's a big difference. But when you go through IVF and when you donate eggs or when you become a surrogate, you have to take, it's an intensive drug procedure. You have to take all these shots and injections. And when you're carrying another woman's child, you actually have to take drugs that prevent organ rejection, because your body will reject the eggs of another woman. Your body's like, what the hell's this? This does not belong to me. And, your body is correct.
Yeah. The person who posted this clip said, Paris Hilton commissions a baby, takes him from his mother at birth, but can't be bothered to change the poor thing's nappy herself until he's a month old. When she finally condescends to do it, she has to be told multiple times by her sister to be gentle, and the nanny says, don't forget to talk to him. Maybe this is fairly common behavior for the ultra-rich. It certainly isn't what a baby needs, though, especially a baby who has been through the trauma of being separated from his mother at birth and needs to form an attachment with the person who bought him. She's just bought her second baby to add to her collection of accessories, too, grim beyond belief. And that is true. She announced that she's having a second baby who is a daughter named London, and again chooses surrogacy as her quote unquote best option.
I think that's just so sad. I mean, I'm sure that she could, if she can have children of her own, she really shouldn't be buying them.
Well, the point is she waited so long that there are more risks. So
what is she, like 45?
She's 42 right
42?
now. So it would obviously be more risky, but she also said, even if I were 20, I would still choose surrogacy because
Could you
of
imagine
my fear.
Paris Hilton having a child at 20? That would have been such a disaster.
Here's another thing to think about. Look, she spent years like pretending to be dumb for the camera. How do I know she's not faking this?
She was kind of doing the fake baby voice in that clip. Did you hear it?
All I'm saying is like she knows what like if she's just playing to a market, right? For all I know, she's actually like I actually believe that they're stupid enough to like know that she's actually changed a diaper, but they're like, you know what would make great TV? If we make it look like you're like an awful mom and this is your first time actually changing.
Like when Chris Cuomo came out of the basement.
Yes, yeah. Like, do you think they're above doing something like that? They're not above doing something like that. This is reality TV, which, as we know, has very little reality to it anyways. So stuff like this is just fodder for the public. I don't know if I actually buy that this is anything that it actually looks like it is.
You think that she's lying about having never changed his diaper?
I think that I wouldn't put it past them. I don't know whether I believe that
I
that's
would
the case
believe
here.
it very easily because she clearly believes she is above performing these menial tasks and will outsource it to women who need the money.
She probably has like some round the clock nanny.
Obviously, yes. Yeah, and another person said, afraid of death, afraid of life, no society has ever so shamelessly, so thoroughly valorized cowardice. I don't know if I would call it cowardice to be afraid
Being
of
afraid of death is
giving
fairly
birth or
normal.
afraid of dying. Those are natural fears, but not ones that you have to acquiesce to. And also there's so much propaganda that makes women afraid to give birth or to get pregnant in general because it destroys your body inside and out. It'll destroy your life. It will destroy your future. And none of that is true. So maybe she should question some of her assumptions before she goes into becoming a parent. And Brett, you also sent me another story related to this. Gen Zer will only have a baby if her partner pays her $315,000 a year. Quote, I'm not built to suffer. So let's take a look at that video and see her laundry list of requirements.
Is it in the article? It's just in the top of the article? Okay, hold on, guys. Here we go. Refresh. Here we go.
This is my preference. The girl with the list has imprinted in my brain why I will never put myself or my body through all of that for free. So here we go. Prenup before pregnancy, so we need to be married. We're not doing baby mamas here, and I would have my own clauses in there that would cover cheating, stuff like that. The next one is $250,000 allowance annually per baby. I will not be working. I would just not have the capacity. Definitely have a housekeeper who could do laundry, cooking, cleaning, all of that for 6 months.
So the stuff you're supposed to do?
Suffer.
Okay.
Then
So
it would be
what's she
replaced
gonna
by
do?
a weekly cleaner thereon, just to get me back into the hang of things like cooking, doing laundry, things like that, because I do actually enjoy that. But who's going to be having the energy to be doing all of that when you've just given birth? Anyway, next one. I would also have a mummy makeover because my body is going to be destroyed internally and externally. I think this is a given. Also a night nurse, a doula. I love my sleep. So a night nurse would definitely be mandatory so that I can get my beauty sleep, to be able to have the energy in the morning.
I hope this woman never has
to
children.
be able to take over.
She probably
It'll put
won't.
me in a way better mind
'cause who
frame.
would
So
sign on to
next,
this?
Push present. So either an
push
apartment
present.
in my name, a car, or a business, something that is going to secure me and our child or children future should anything happen. I'm always looking to add more onto this list because I'm very adamant I want to be child free, but for the right man I wouldn't mind putting myself through.
She means for the right price.
She means for the right price,
Yes.
It's fair to point out that she probably comes from money, right? To even imagine that stipulations like this are plausible.
I gotta say, like, I mean,
Excuse me.
Bless you.
you know, I talk about my kid all the time.
keep going.
You know, do you want me to?
We got a $20. Hold on, we got a $20 super chat
yeah.
here from J Turbo. Says my ex-wife was afraid of being preggo. Surprised we never had kids. Seeing this, I'm glad we didn't have kids now. And Brett, we will win the war. Olivia has the numbers in her favor. Hashtag justice for Mocha. Look, I don't give a crap about your numbers, bro. Like every single time.
You were gonna say like, I don't give a crap about your marriage.
I don't give a crap about your marriage. I don't give a crap about your ex-wife. But what I really don't give a crap about is the numbers against the cat, because at the end of the day, who's got the buttons, bro? Who's got the buttons? I got the buttons, and as long as I'm pushing the buttons here, there will be no cat on here.
So you were gonna say about your son?
Oh, I'm just really grateful that I spent as much time with him as I did, and I didn't need any of this crap. I just hung out. We just hung out, and it was great.
The idea that,
and I'm really grateful now because we're still tight.
The idea that like giving birth is going to destroy your body internally and externally is insane, because it's just literally what your body was built to do.
I will say, like, after I had my son, I didn't have trouble losing the baby weight, but he had to have surgery, like cranial surgery at 5.5 months old. And so the way that I coped with that was by eating a lot of ice cream. I had no problem losing the baby weight. The ice cream weight
it was
took
the stress
much
weight.
longer. It was the stress weight because of the ice cream. Yeah, I just read Agatha Christie's and ate Haagen-Dazs for like 3 months.
Also, is this
Understandable.
the type of thing, would the best possible outcome for a young lady like the one here be that, now this is a long shot, I understand, but perhaps she goes into it with all of those expectations, but realizes actually after having the child that it's a magical thing.
You're doing the Hallmark movie version.
It's magical and beautiful and sprinkles and rainbows.
You know what you do?
Things, yeah.
You pitch this to the new USA Network.
Yes, I will do that.
And now you've got a great series.
Let's do that. She starts off vapid, self-obsessed, and overly worried about how she looks, and falls in love. And,
It's like
loves her kid.
It's like a Paris Hilton Hallmark movie, rich British girl mashup.
Let's do this.
Unfortunately, it's unlikely, and this just takes the whole aspect of self-sacrifice out of being a parent entirely.
Yeah, she says,
and she's also asking to be independent while being married and a mother.
Also, this is like very.
Those aren't really the same thing.
It's very descriptive of the times. Kids are expensive. I wouldn't want to bring a kid into this world to suffer.
That's what they believe living is, because they hate themselves and they hate their own lives and they hate their parents for a myriad of reasons. A lot of people who deny or who reject their own existence never want other people to have to go through this life, which they believe to be like a living hell.
Yeah.
Just because you make your own life a living hell doesn't mean that other people don't deserve a chance at making it livable for themselves and being happy.
Yep. All right, let's go to Super Chats.
Thank you. In a moment.
I'll have to extend Ian's part a little bit more for next week.
Yes.
Yes.
Pedro Ivan Lopez said, "Ree!" Thank you.
Thank you.
Isaac Martinez said, heard about Oppenheimer finally going to be released in Japan in 2024.
Yeah,
we mentioned that yesterday.
I managed to prevent myself from making the joke. There will be an explosive release of Oppenheimer in Japan in 2024.
What I used for the chapter on yesterday's video is Oppenheimer drops on Japan.
Yes!
So, Hiroshima Otaru said the only justice Mocha can have is hashtag ban Mocha.
I'm like you guys all with the ban GTA 6. I'm with ban Mocha. I'm with you.
DD Megadoodoo97 said, when are the demisexual toy aisles going to pop up? Oh wait, just wanted to say hey y'all, and was wondering if you guys were going to cover the new Freud and C.S. Lewis movie. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes, that is.
Did you see that, Libby? A Freud and C.S. Lewis movie?
Yeah. I did not see that.
Let's do one more and then we'll move on.
High Voltage 75 said, Libby, there's a spider on your headphones. It was sent like 20 minutes ago.
There's definitely no.
I assume it's no longer there. I did not see that.
You're good.
Are you messing with me?
You're good.
There's nothing there.
There's no
I promise.
They're gonna do that all the time now.
That's gonna be really mean, you guys.
That's not very nice, guys.
If
Yeah,
you
you're
really,
mean.
if you want to see me jump out of my chair, I will every time.
Yeah, just to be safe.
Marcos said.
Let's hold off on the rest, and we'll come back.
Okay.
We'll come back after the fact. All right, guys. So according to this article from the New York Post, there's a crazy trend going on in the year 2023. They're saying older men marrying or having children with younger women is a crazy phenomenon that's just the first time it's ever
It's
happened.
just happening now.
It's just happening
I can't
now.
believe it.
Who would have thought
For the
about
first
it, right?
time. You're telling me this for the first time.
I love the start of this article, though. It says micro mini skirts, baggy jeans, and old men marrying or having children with women far younger than them are the most significant trends of 2023. Well, the baggy jeans should be gone, too.
Well, they
Well,
clearly
the baggy
don't
jeans
like
is
it.
the 90s. Micro minis are from the 60s.
This says the
And
famous
men marrying really young women is from millennia
It's
ago.
omnipresent.
Yes.
It never goes away.
Famous men in droves hooking up with women half their age need to be stopped and rejected, like a pair of skinny jeans being ignored in your wardrobe.
Well, until those men don't have a lot of money, you're not
this
going
is
to do that.
Such a first world article, though, because I saw a video today of a 10-year-old girl being married off to a 30-year-old man, and they were in some.
Where was this?
They were in a Muslim country. I forget which one. I have the video.
Makes sense.
Here is the picture that we used for the thumbnail for today. It's really, really funny of
Al
a spry looking Al Pacino.
Just stumbling down the street, not really sure where he is, and his 29-year-old girlfriend, Noor Al-Falah, is standing behind him, calculating her next move.
She looks really into him. She does.
Yeah.
She looks like...
And by the way, she was in the news earlier this year because she is going to be inheriting Al Pacino's entire fortune.
And she's not a gold digger because she comes from money. She comes from family wealth.
Well, it's more so thinking about how can I continue
My family
how
can
legacy.
I grow my family wealth?
Yes.
And legacy. Yep.
So, and then also they brought up Dane Cook, who is 51, marrying Kelsey Taylor, who is 24.
Yeah,
that story was weird.
The dates aren't dating on that one, ladies and gentlemen. They were definitely...
The timeline seems to be that they met when she was 17 through family friends and was still in high school at the time.
I think the G word would come up for that one.
Oh, you think so?
I think
that rhymes with brooming.
Yeah, I do. A lot of people were like, have you ever seen those videos where it's like somebody makes a video like this, like I'm this old and I'm this old and we've been together for this long, and then it cuts to somebody who's like,
I think that the super old men who get with the young women are just coming to terms with the fact, like being honest with themselves about the fact that they won't be loved for who they truly are.
Yeah, why would, like,
that
does it care?
they will get companionship through other means.
Yes.
By giving her an allowance.
Yeah.
And if they're okay with that, then fine.
yeah, he gets to look at her and she gets to spend his money. It's
But
a
just
match made
don't
in heaven.
deny that it's a transactional relationship, right? Like, I find it hard to believe that a woman in her 20s is attracted to a guy in his 80s.
There's an episode of the show Las Vegas where this guy he's like worth $1 gazillion and he's like 80 years old and he's got a wife, or he's got a girlfriend who's just about to marry in Vegas. That's the whole theme of the episode, and she's like 20 or 21, and like the guy who runs the casino, James Caan's character, is like kind of pulls him aside at the end. He's like, she's just kind of using you for your money. He goes, oh yeah, I know. I'm leaving all my money to charity. Like, the point being that, like, she's shallow, I'm shallow. It's a match made in heaven.
Right.
Yeah.
That's usually the conclusion that I come to with these age gap relationships that are, especially the ones that are public.
Yeah.
Like among Hollywood men. They're not really offering examples of this happening in the real world.
I mean, there's probably
normies.
way more examples of this in the world of wealth, just not in Hollywood, right? Financiers, people who have a lot of money but aren't public figures.
Well, the only place I think that the older man marrying the younger woman is really a problem is when she's underage and she's being sold off.
Otherwise, just
and that has happened
That
in
happens
the U.S.
plenty. Yeah, I mean, the
like
child
Courtney
bride
Stodden
issue. Yeah.
Oh.
Courtney Stodden, we talked about her before because she got married at 16
Yep,
to
that
a
was a
man in
very
a
big
wheelchair. So that was definitely...
I mean, otherwise, if
No,
everyone's an
gross.
adult,
Was
like,
he in a
I
wheelchair when
might
they
think
got
it's
married?
gross, but it's, you know.
Yeah, he was like super old. I think that in
No,
their
it-
wedding photos, he was He was wheelchair bound.
Okay, but he was an actor. He was an actor before that, and because he was on the X-Files in some episodes.
David Arquette?
No, not David Arquette. That's Courtney. That's Courtney Cox that married David Arquette.
Okay, I'm talking about Courtney Stodden.
She married, what was his name? I have to look it up.
Doug Hutchison?
Yes, that's
Doug
who it was.
Hudson.
Yes, that's who it was.
Yeah,
Yep.
they got married when she was 16 and he was 50.
But he was an actor.
Yeah. And
Or
then
like the Great
obviously
Balls of
like
Fire guy.
she later on talked about how she was like trapped and manipulated into doing that.
Yeah, he was a successful actor too. He wasn't just a flash in the pan. He was in a bunch of stuff, and it just never seemed to be a thing that people cared about back in the day because there was no. He played Toombs on the X-Files, so that was just one of those things that back in the day there wouldn't have been a bunch of articles written about it, so nobody would have known. Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, there are a bunch of articles talking about a recent public breakup in an age gap relationship with Dave Portnoy, the president or El Presidente of Barstool Sports.
I don't think this guy was in a wheelchair though. I don't think he was in a wheelchair.
I don't know if it's that important.
Oh, sorry. my brain.
And Dave Portnoy's girlfriend was named Silvana Mojica, I believe. So she is 28. Dave Portnoy is 46. And when they met, she was 25. He was 43. A guy who's 43 is about as developed mentally as he's going to be at 46. But I feel like in your 20s, your values and beliefs can change a lot. So between 25 and 28, there's this huge transformation that happens in a lot of women where their priorities change. Yeah. And they decide that having kids and being married is the most important thing to them. So Dave Portnoy broke up with this woman, and a lot of people were talking about, you know, what could have been the cause of this. Was there cheating? Was there something going on where that Dave Portnoy would be to blame? But then when he spoke about it on the BFFs podcast, he said it was actually because he realized that he couldn't give her what she wanted. She wanted within the next 10 years for them to be married and start a family. Yeah. And he was just being honest with himself that that's not what he wanted out of life. Mm-hmm. Like, he's obviously super hardworking, is almost addicted to working. And for a portion of their relationship, he was kind of retired because he didn't own Barstool at that point.
He's like, I've got so many pizza places that I have to check in the next 20 years.
He has so much pizza to try.
There's so much pizza to be eaten.
Can't take any time at home. So he broke up with her right before Thanksgiving when, you know, the family would be coming over, started asking questions.
I just want to say that
questions you don't want to answer.
Whether right before Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving, neither is a good answer.
No.
They're both bad.
No. And I do feel bad for the girl because she made this TikTok announcing their breakup, showing all of these love cards that she was going to give to him. Like, imagine making all of these cards and then getting broken up with the week before Thanksgiving. But yeah, like, I guess a lot of people were praising him because this is something not a lot of guys can bring themselves to do. They just want to kind of waste someone's time, lead the girl on, saying, yeah, I'll change. We'll definitely get married in the next, 5, 10, 15 years and just keep on stringing her along. But he seems to have done the right thing here by setting her free so that she can find someone that wants the same things as her.
I don't know what else he was supposed to do in this situation.
But then again, it's like 3 years and that never came up.
COVID year doesn't count. That was like temporary insanity.
They got together in 2021.
So I mean, still technically COVID, end of COVID.
I don't know.
When did he retire?
How do you have a 3-year-long relationship and that subject just never is brought up?
Don't know.
The way that dating is so like superficial now is just shocking.
Well, also he's probably at work 24/7. Like, they probably never had time to have this conversation because the dude's always working and they're always doing stuff. And 3 years sucks, but this could have gone on way longer with the exact same outcome, which would have been way worse. Right? Like, I don't know what, like, unless this is something where on day one she broached the conversation. It's like, I absolutely want this. within this period of time, and he just led her on for 3 years. I imagine that he was. It's pretty easy to lie to yourself for a couple of years, especially if you really like a person, thinking that you or they may change. And that's not always the case. I always tend to take these situations. I don't think anybody's 100% the good guy or 100% the bad guy. I think humans make it very easy to lie to themselves when emotions get involved.
Yeah. Well, this relationship also did make a lot of women like Dave Portnoy for once.
Really? Yeah.
She changed the public opinion of him, at least so that more females would find him to be like appealing as a public figure.
Yeah.
And then immediately once it was found out that they broke up, all of these women were like, no matter what happened, he's to blame, he's evil, he's Satan. And then when he talked about it, they were like, oh shit, we were wrong. He actually did the right thing. That, you know, a lot of women complain about this these days, that there are guys wasting their time.
Plus, this lady posted the video of her with like the notes or whatever. Women love to post their L's, man. Why is that?
Yeah, we were talking about this.
No dude is posting. Like,
do you have a theory why women post their L's so much?
I don't know. I don't know, because I don't think I would do that.
I don't either.
But
I think that would make me feel really. Which women? Like, I guess these women.
We talk about this all the time.
Women make TikToks where they're doing their makeup or they're something, whatever. They tell a horrific story of this toxic relationship or this heartbreak that they went through or trauma.
And then they turn into somebody completely different. You know what I mean? Like when they put on the makeup and it's like you look one way and then you get transformed. Those videos creep me out.
That's not the only one. Okay, so Leslie Jones saying that, right? Was it Leslie? Who was the
Leslie
one that
Jones?
Leslie Jones,
the comedian
who said men can't get hard for her.
I wouldn't go on social media and say that.
Yeah,
and she's claiming that this is a societal problem.
It's society's fault.
Society-wide problem, and all women are secretly thinking about this.
Yeah, like no, you're just kind of fat and unattractive, and that's. But why?
She just hasn't met the one yet.
I guess, right? But like, I just wonder why it's this weird cultural phenomenon where the women will post their L's and the men definitely, like, I feel like the more natural reaction is to hide the L, not post the L.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think that would be my view.
Like, I'm not looking to, I've got plenty of things in my life that I would gladly never share with anyone, right? I think we all do.
Well, I was just theorizing it's because women don't have a knitting circle anymore, so they need to commiserate with each other on social media.
But why don't you just, don't you call your friend? Like, I have friends that I will call and I'll be like, you have no idea what just happened, blah, blah.
Something weird that Gen Z does is they'll sit on FaceTime calls for hours and hours, not like they don't actually talk to the person on the other end. They're just going about their day on a FaceTime call with someone.
That sounds like hell.
I don't understand it at all, but this is a specifically Gen Z phenomenon.
It's like a constant companion. Yeah. My son does that while he's playing video games. He just sits there with his friend on FaceTime and they don't really talk, but they do play video games, and so they'll talk about the video game now and then. Yeah.
I mean, that's like a Discord thing, but he doesn't use Discord, I guess.
I don't. Sometimes they use Discord. It depends on the friend. Like they all have different things.
Somebody says, like what, Brett? What? I'm not telling you my L's. I'm going to keep the L's.
No, keep it to yourself.
You keep it and you bury it deep down there in the heart. And you suppress it, and it fuels you to keep going rather than sharing it with everyone. Stupid.
Yeah.
As for the young women who are going after these older men, I think they should at least go for a handsome one. I mean, if he's going to be, like, you're considering him to be a walking wallet for you.
He should be a cute walking wallet.
He should be a cute walking wallet. And I think these are mutually beneficial, but also mutually dehumanizing relationships. They're just based on a transaction.
Also, like, you have this article about the Portnoy thing, and if you scroll through, it's all these men who leave the girl for, like, some younger girl. And the younger girl always looks just like the older girl, except a little younger.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so you have a type.
Yeah.
You know, fine.
It's weird.
TV show that I was watching where this guy talks about, like, he leaves the wife every 5 years. He divorces them and they get something in the cell. And he goes, so he wasn't so much marrying them as leasing them.
Right.
He was leasing them for 5 years at a time until he moves on to the next younger model.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's a classic thing.
And for
my grandfathers did that.
If you got the money and you can afford to do it, yeah, the bug is still.
I'm gonna try
terrorizing us. But the women who go after like Leonardo DiCaprio, those are like PR relationships. They get something out of it.
Yeah.
He gets something out of it.
Like the Tom Cruise situations, weren't those all PR created?
The Eddie Cibrian one that you found on here, that's kind of funny too, because he got a lot of crap for this because him and Leanne Rimes both cheated on their spouses and then got together, and then like I guess the cast of the show he was working on like hated him because he was like bragging about cheating on his wife, and they're like, that's kind of scummy.
Yeah, that is scummy.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Super Chats.
Marcos said, "Random down the hall and to the left is the greatest line spoken in a Christmas movie ever." I don't know what that is. Do you know what that it's from?
I don't remember.
Okay. Tacti Platty said, "Libby, there is an FAO Schwartz Rockefeller in NYC."
I know, but it's not the same. It's not the same as it was.
Shane H. Wilder said, "I looked up the McDonald's CosMc mascot, WTF." They have a mascot?
Well, it should be Mick Cosmics anyways, so...
Look up the mascot for us, Brett. Bucky Ducky said, "Too busy to watch today, but here is for Taco Bell." Yes, it's going directly into my bank account. Thank you.
Do one more, and then we'll do one more.
Party like 1776 said, "With the new Crisis Party, I'm reminded that someone was working on a Nightcore Crisis Party and was wondering what happened to it."
We'll have to ask about that.
Guys,
I'm not seeing a Mick Cosmics mascot.
It doesn't
here.
have one?
Unless somebody wants
They
to
trolled
send
us.
a Cosmics mascot. I'm not. Is this it?
What is it?
Hold on. Let me pull up the website version of it. So it says McDonald's secretive new menu Cosmics is based on a classic mascot. So I guess this used to be the mascot.
What is that?
Look at that picture.
It's a snail in
There's 3 arms there.
In a washing machine. I don't even know what that is.
Wow. Okay.
That's weird.
I hate it.
Thanks. I hate it.
I hate it.
There you go. All
And
right.
speaking of thanks, I hate it.
I kind of like it.
You're a fan?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Ruby Rose, guys. This story is, it's blackpilling is what it is. Ruby Rose is an OnlyFans girl, an OnlyFans creator, but she's also a rapper. And she just leaked messages from her top OnlyFans subscriber, her most unhinged, insane simp, who sent her $62,000 on the platform in only 1 month. And she posted this tweet on December 1st saying, "I ran into my #1 spender on OnlyFans," and they took a picture together. This guy looks exactly as gross as you would assume he does.
Yep.
He's wearing a shirt that says, "If I die, delete my browser history."
Nasty.
The opposite of that video we watched the one time where the family goes through the guy's porn.
She also she looks visibly uncomfortable and like she's trying not to touch him. And I don't buy for a second that they ran into each other coincidentally. This guy is stalking her. So the reply said, "Spending $63K and you can't even get a hug when you meet. The world is cold. Spent 63 racks and she won't even touch you for a picture." Another said, "No, you didn't just bump into him. His ass was stalking you." Absolutely. And then later, she posted the most insane screenshot of a text conversation where his name in her contacts is Brandon, Weird OF fan. He offered to pay her $400,000. I'm going to repeat that. He offered to pay her $400,000 to send a single word response back to his unhinged text messages. This says, "I need you. I don't think I could live without you. I don't want to live without you. You are the final piece to my puzzle. You are the only thing that I need to make my life complete. I just hope you feel the same way. I will send you 10 Bitcoin right now if you answer me. That is worth almost $400,000. All you have to do is respond to me with 1 word, Ruby. Please, I need your attention. I need to make sure that my kitten is safe." Then he posted a screenshot of the Bitcoin, the live worth of Bitcoin. So this guy is a crypto whale, self-reported. He's got money to waste. And he also, this guy tatted Ruby Rose's face on his body. She posted this and said, tap my face on you so I know it's real. She's encouraging this behavior.
Yeah.
This is something that could get you killed, honestly. This guy sounds so crazy that
Really
he
unhinged.
might find her and kill her or hurt her some way. Like, this is a stalker. You should treat it like that, not play into it for money.
Mm-hmm.
She also didn't reply to his text, so she didn't get the $400K. That's when she decided it was too far.
Oh, that after she told him to tattoo her face on his body.
Well, after he offered the $400K for a single word response is when she decided it went too far.
Mm-hmm.
This one reply said, "Don't tax the rich, tax these OnlyFans subscribers."
Wow. That's really sad and depressing and scary. This guy is scary.
Paid $60,000 only to be called the weird OF fan in her contacts. Yeah.
I kind of like what Phil had to say about this, that perhaps it's because he made his money fly by night that he's more willing to just part with it. So
well, Phil says, like, if you got rich on accident, for instance, like winning the lottery, you're going to be spending it like crazy because you didn't work for any of the money. You're going to be spending it on insane shit like this, doing the stupidest things ever. This isn't stupid. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's insane behavior.
Is his logic?
Also, it's weird that she's wearing underwear while shopping.
I said the same thing. I mean,
a little much.
He might be
Like,
making
those
her
are
uncomfortable.
panties.
Her wearing underwear in public, that's making me uncomfortable.
I'm not into that. Yeah. I mean, the top is sort of fine, but like you could
wear
do with
pants.
something that's not underpants.
Yeah.
Literal underpants.
Tidy whities.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. But these guys, like, they seem to be chasing after the feeling of being a provider in the evolutionary
that's interesting.
psychology sense of the word.
That's very interesting.
Without actually having a real human connection with the girl.
And being unable to create a real human connection with the girl, so they use their money to try and get it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
Yeah. And most of the time when you're messaging these girls on OF, the person responding to you is not the girl in the pictures or the videos. It's a glorified call center employee from across the globe.
Really?
There's a good...
Yeah, they outsource it to these companies that manage their OnlyFans for them, and the person replying to all of these horny men sending DMs is another man.
Really?
Yeah, most likely.
Wow.
There's a good Trevor Wallace bit where he says, "My life is an OnlyFans manager," and it's just him answering messages.
Just sexting other men,
gross.
basically. Yeah, it's disgusting. And also, there are a lot of women who have taken like sketchy modeling jobs. They take a bunch of bikini photos, and then the company, because they have the right to use these images, will just use them to create an OnlyFans page.
Wow.
Unbeknownst to the girl in the photos, and use the messaging with these simps.
But they
to make
never
money.
can get any new pictures.
Yeah, but it has happened.
Yeah.
It's a scam.
I mean, I guess you could get new pictures. We're
They kind
going
of
into
deserve to get scammed.
callbacks and final rounds.
Oh,
and
that
more
might have been a
pics.
Ryan Long skit, not a Trevor Wallace skit. I might have missed it. Either way, the point stands that these relationships are absolutely insane.
They're not relationships.
They're
transactions.
They're parasocial relationships
Yeah.
in the certain sense of the word, and the I don't see that. It's why the platform is so successful, right? The point Mary's making is why it's becoming more successful, because the argument people make whenever you hear these stories is then somebody in the comments goes, "Bro, you can watch porn on the internet for free." You can, but it's not about that for most of them. There is a certain fantasy about the idea of providing for somebody, even if you have no actual connection with them whatsoever. And as our worlds become more and more online, as we exist more and more in the digital space, I suppose it becomes easier to rationalize to yourself that in your mind, because a lot of people's relationships these days are happening digitally. So what makes this any different? And obviously that's a huge leap of logic, but if all circumstances fall into place as they do, I don't think a leap of logic that big is so hard to believe, as stories like this tend to prove.
You can watch porn on the internet for free, but that doesn't come with the imaginary girlfriend experience.
And
it doesn't come with a paranormal, or sorry, not paranormal, parasocial connection.
And that was a genre of like escort long before OnlyFans was ever a thing. Was the girlfriend experience, which
right.
is basically if you're a rich dude and you've got no woman, you hire a woman.
Like the Julia Roberts Pretty Woman thing.
Exactly.
Right.
You hire a woman to come with you to events and appear like they like you. And what's funny is there was an episode of the show The Mentalist that did this, where like this character, she's hired to either do girlfriend experiences or she goes to like high-end rehab facilities to like troll for Johns. And she says like, she's like, oh, I'm paid to show up and act like I like them, but I don't actually get involved with the clients. That's where madness lies, because that's actually true.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. Mm-hmm. Why would you do something like that? Yeah, this story is somehow more disturbing when we're talking about it than it even was when I found it.
Yeah, it's very disturbing.
Yeah.
Someone who cares about her safety should probably tell her
To
that
stay away from this guy.
she should stay away from this guy at all costs, because he is dangerous. Like, someone in this mindset is dangerous to be around. Especially if he found you in person and then claimed like, oh, it's so funny seeing you here.
That is
what a
weird.
coincidence.
Where
like,
even are they?
no.
They look like they're at some high-end boutique.
Yeah, like it just seems like he was following her around.
Oh, they're at a tattoo. There's a tattoo shop there.
Oh man, that is just.
Is that a tattoo
when he
shop?
when he got her face tattooed on his leg or whatever,
Creepy.
or his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of these texts go unanswered. He's saying, please, I cherished every second I was with you. I adore you. You are the reason I wake up every morning. I have no purpose without you. You are my rock. Ruby, stop ignoring me. Why are you ignoring me after all of the money that I've given you to show you that I'm only loyal to you? How much I love and appreciate and adore you. How dare you not answer me? I see you actively posting on your Instagram story and you have not answered me once. You are making me very mad. I have treated you like a princess and you won't even take the time to respond to me. I will not tolerate this.
That
Then it's
sounds
followed
scary.
up. I'm sorry for getting mad at you. I didn't mean to. I shouldn't have to, but the love I have for you causes me to get very emotional. I love you so much, Ruby. You are my world, my queen, my everything. There is nothing I wouldn't do to make you the happiest princess in the whole world.
There's a type of stalker, called an erotomaniac. Erotomania. The stalker falsely believes that the victim is in love with him or her, but for some external obstacle or interference, they would be unable to be together. Erotomania. In this type of stalking, the stalker incorrectly believes that the victim is in love with him or her, and that except for the barrier, they can't be together. They're morbidly infatuated. The type of stalker feels that the victim loves them. They just don't know it yet.
This guy, he's wearing what, like those camera glasses?
Looks weird, right?
Yeah.
Is he wearing those?
He's wearing the camera glasses.
Those still look so unbelievably noticeable whenever people have those on now.
Isn't that what those are? Those like
can't
Ray-Bans?
Could be.
I didn't
Yeah.
Look at the picture that close.
But they also
Well,
believe
he's
that.
got, yes,
Oh yeah,
cycles.
no, they absolutely are. Yeah.
So
it's-
that's where these pictures came from, which means he has a ton of pictures of her because he was like taking pictures of her the whole time.
Yeah. And everything that she posts on social media, he's going to think it's a secret message that's actually aimed at him specifically.
It's creepy.
Like, that's part of the whole
Somebody let me know. Are those
mental
the
illness.
Are those the glasses there? I mean, they've got the things in the corners, but I don't know necessarily. They don't look like
They
the
might just be weird. He is a weird guy.
Yeah, they
He's
don't look
weird.
like the Ray-Ban versions.
We got a
of them.
$20 from Dreamcast Night saying, yikes, this is the cringe of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not going to need cringe of the day anymore.
Yeah.
We've got this to hold
Well, there
us
was
over.
Google Glass. Do you guys remember Google
Yes, I
Glass?
do.
That's still a thing.
They're
yeah.
still around. Poor Google.
Is that what these are?
I don't know if they're
Ugh.
Google glasses.
Someone like this, genuinely, this man should be institutionalized. Like, he is not, he is a danger to society. And it's also so unfortunate that the police can't do anything to protect you from stalkers. They tell you,
Yeah.
we can't do anything until he actually does something threatening. If he just says threatening things or is obsessed with you and you're afraid of him coming to your house, like, we can't take any action. So that is where personal responsibility for your safety comes in. And she traded that off for tens of thousands of dollars, and it's not worth any amount of money.
Very disturbing.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Superchats.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Where is Surenko to gloat that he was right about Taylor Swift being the Antichrist? Don't tell me the Swifties got to him."
Wait,
Yeah.
so was this decided? Is she the Antichrist? Did this get decided when I didn't hear it?
She's still a candidate,
Okay.
as is Trump.
My dad says that there are more than one. There could be more than one Antichrist.
I don't think that's true.
Really?
But I'm sure
He studied a theological seminary.
People
and
are
was
saying
a pastor for years, so I
there
I
are
end up
people that
listening to
can
him.
be like the warning signs or the
Mm-hmm.
precursors to the Antichrist.
People are saying that these are. I have no idea if this is a real thing or not. Discontinued Snapchat glasses.
Is that what it is?
It's even worse.
What does that mean?
Somehow.
Let's look it up.
What are Snapchat
did
glasses?
they did
I guess that's a thing.
the person provide an image?
Snap.
Snapchat glasses.
Baron of Grey Matter said,
Oh, yeah, they
"Simulacrum lives matter."
Simulacrum lives matter. Oh, they sure are. Damn.
Yeah, that's what they are.
That is worse.
What does that mean? What do they do? They just
They
take
are
pictures?
spectacles, are smart glasses dedicated to recording video for the Snapchat service.
What the fuck?
They feature a camera lens and are capable of recording short video segments and syncing with a smartphone to upload to the user's online account.
Ew.
The last version was from November 2019.
I will say, man, I would never, like, in the age we live in now, the idea that of being like a woman on the internet, I feel bad for you ladies. I do. Having to deal with all that comes with being, any amount of known online.
Well, there are crazies always, but it helps when you don't feed into their delusions by forming a relationship with them.
Yeah.
Wyatt Kaldenberg said war heroes were the celebs of old. Many war heroes were elected president. JFK was the last war hero to be prez. Pop stars replaced war heroes. Well, what about John McCain? The Rumbling said, "Get Jesse Ventura on a special PCC culture war." Also, Taylor Swift might be a cousin of Xena, or they have the same great grandparents, because kids look more like grandparents, not immediate parents. Maybe.
Interesting.
I don't know if, like, I guess maybe it's also probably harder to recognize that when you're, like, actually related to them. Like, I don't think I look anything like my dad, but I look like my brother in certain circumstances.
I feel like I look exactly like my mother.
Really?
When I was
kid?
yeah, when I was younger, I looked a lot more like my dad, but I do look quite like my mother.
DC&C said, "I got the buttons." What does that mean?
What kind are these? What kind of button? Oh, because I was saying earlier.
Because Brett was saying, who got the buttons? I got the buttons.
I'm not.
Oh.
I'm not getting shit because I've got.
About the cat, there was like a cat involved.
As long as I'm pushing the buttons, that cat
That's
will never
correct.
be seen on this screen.
Yes.
Ryle Kittenhouse said, is this just a purple cat?
It's a black cat emoji.
Or something. DC&C said, "Spider on your nose, Libby."
I'm looking right at my nose.
Surenko Productions said, "Dang, I'm out sick and y'all talk about Taylor Swift as the Antichrist." SMH Taylor, 2 times speed, let's go.
Let's go. Well, if you want, you can now buy a Let's Go shirt. It's right up there in the merch store.
That's cool.
Yep.
Nate
kinda want
said, "Portnoy equals poop emoji." Very petty. Not that Jon Stewart said, "Brett's L involves a derpy cat, hence the hate."
Nope, not an L for me. It's a complete W for me. You're wrong. Sorry.
Tacty Platty said, "Brett has no L's. His body count is at 30.
They will never know my body count because they weren't able to provide the requisite amount of crisis parties. So I guess you're just never going to know, guys. Yeah, you're never going to know.
Perturbed Alpaca said that FaceTime-ish is direct from quarantine. Literally contactless human contact. I will never understand it.
I did want to talk. We didn't even get to talk about this week. There's all these articles going around about lockdown nostalgia.
Lockdown nostalgia.
Lockdown
What?
nostalgia. And what it is like a lot of these people, the same people who felt really, really good about yelling at you for not wearing a mask.
There were so many of those.
Right?
I got yelled at so much.
See, but what it is it goes back to the fact that they feel like they were living through this unprecedented moment in time. Because in a lot of ways it was.
They really
right?
wanted it to be the end of the world.
Yeah, but for me, I actually do have slight nostalgia for the lockdowns because I was living my best life during lockdowns. I could skate anything I wanted any time of day. I still had a job, and I was literally free to just roam the streets, and there wasn't a soul around to bother me. It was fantastic. Like, it doesn't mean I want it to go on forever or that I think back wistfully about wishing it happened again.
One thing I liked about lockdowns, this is the one thing that I really liked, was I would travel and I would go to the airport and there'd be nobody at the airport. There'd be no lines. You'd get a seat and you'd get the whole row. And the only people at the airport were wearing like MAGA hats. And you'd be like, hey, what's up? And we'd be like, hey, it's freedom out here.
See, like I think that there is an element of nostalgia for some people, but I think the people that in these articles that we're talking about it, they just miss bossing people around and working from home.
Yeah, that's what they miss.
They're like, I gotta go back to work now.
Well, they miss
having
not
delivery
working
and- yeah.
while quote unquote working from home.
or not yet. Maybe not even working, but like not working, but like being on the government dole. Well, that was going on because people got
True.
laid off and were able to
They
just
miss TikTok and whipped coffee.
and what's it called? What's his name was Tiger King was a thing.
Tiger King
was
yeah.
really
and,
big
and
during
Doja
COVID.
Cat Say So
Yep.
was playing on the airwaves.
See, we're gonna have a whole generation of weirdos who are gonna have like just like us being nostalgia. Like I post a meme and it's an image of Pizza Hut and it says "We used to be a country." It's gonna be a bunch of people in line 6 feet apart with masks on to say "We used to be a country."
Yeah. Hiroshima Otaru said down the hall and to the left. Oh, that was Trump's line in Home Alone 2, obviously.
Down the
Yeah, I
hall.
should have known
Right.
that.
I forgot.
I mean, I think that's vague enough that like whatever. Maybe if you pose that question to me, well, absolutely nothing else was going on.
Sometimes when they aired it, they took Trump out.
Yeah,
yes,
they did.
in Canada.
Yeah, so messed up.
We hate Canada here, folks. Shane H. Wilder.
I do want to point out that I was telling somebody recently that not only am I from Minnesota, where people call me like basically like a glorified Canadian, like I'm an honorary Canadian, which I take as an insult, of course. Just like calling us journalists.
You're
would
no
be-
Frostback.
No, but I also lived for many years in a town called Little Canada.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yes, so maybe I'm more Canadian.
You're
than I
just
thought.
little Canadian.
Yes, exactly.
Shane H. Wilder said the podcastress Bert Lever with Mary, Seamus, and Bertman will drop at 9 a.m. Central on Saturday. It is a podcastress updated for modern audiences.
Oh, it must
LOL.
be so politically correct.
I shudder to think.
We're like 3/4 of the way to a fourth crisis party.
I don't know if I want to read this one. Do you want to read this one from Olivia Clare, Brett? I don't want to be clipped.
Is Michelle Obama a muscle mommy? She needs answers. Is she?
Is she?
What's a muscle mommy?
Okay, so
Are we going to get into this?
there was an Alpha Fox meme that went viral like 3 months ago. Whenever time goes by so fast. Remember when the theater incident happened with Lauren Boebert?
Oh, the groping.
Yes, so like there was all sorts of memes going around about Lauren Boebert at that time, and one of them was Lauren Boebert muscle mommy, which was like an AI image of Lauren Boebert, except for with like fantastic muscles and stuff like that. So now any politician could be muscle mommy.
I don't think
guess.
anyone is thirsting after
No,
Michelle Obama.
not exactly.
No. Not that Jon Stewart said Gov Ventura for special guest on episode 9/11.
Yes! By
Oh
that
my
time,
goodness.
maybe by episode 9/11, we'll be big enough that we can get Jesse Ventura on.
By
here.
episode 9/11, we'll have flying cars.
Like because we wouldn't just have to talk to him about like how does two planes destroy 3 towers. Like we can talk about wrestling too, because he was a wrestler. So yeah, and we can talk to him about being in Predator and various other things. So. All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video? Would you subscribe to this channel? If you have not subscribed here already, please and thank you very much. Libby, thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much, Brett. Thanks, Mary. Thanks for having me on again.
Let everyone know where they can find you.
You can find me at Libby Emmons on Twitter and at the Post Millennial and humanevents.com.
And it's in the description if you're looking for that. We got one more here from Shane H. Wilder who says, wait, Olivia got an I'm not reading that. Bad Olivia, bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't want to get clipped saying that about Michelle Obama. She might whack me.
It's very possible.
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
Perfect. All right, guys. If you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. I do want to let you know that tonight I will be on with Culture Casino on his YouTube channel at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing an interview. Go on.
Wait, what?
I forgot to say a thing.
Go ahead.
You should all come to America Fest next week in Phoenix with TPUSA. I'm going to be speaking there, and
Oh,
you
fun.
should come check it out.
Perfect. There you go. But yes, so I will be on with Culture Casino tonight, 7:30 p.m. on his YouTube channel. That's going to be a lot of fun. So at Brett Dasovic on both Instagram and on Twix. And then for the show, we are here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you'd like to listen rather than watch. And if you'd like to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show. And on that platform, when you start getting your shirts or your mugs, you should post pictures and tag the show. And perhaps we can repost them there or on the Instagram. So at popculture_show, Facebook and TikTok at popculturecrisis, Instagram at popculturecrisispod. Guys, we will be back with another.
More, though.
Oh, one more.
High Voltage 75 said, I just got done counting all my spare change from the last 2 years. If you can guess the amount within $20, I'll give you a crisis party.
Do you want to make a guess?
I'm going to guess what I found in my spare change. $34.
That's your guess?
Yes.
Want to make a guess?
I'll go with 150.
Okay. 60.
Okay.
That's my guess.
I was lowest. Okay.
Yeah. Like
Well,
I
let
figured
us
you
know.
went low, so I'd go high.
All right. Yeah, just to be safe.
yeah. I don't know what it is, but like I.
What is it? Now I'm on pins and needles.
People are guessing now. Everyone in the chat
We
is
want
guessing.
a fourth crisis
We
party.
definitely wanted. I just want to know how much it was.
Yeah. Just now, you just got to tell us at least. You should at least tell us how much it was. High Voltage.
Come on.
Come on. Let us know.
Now it's a cop out.
Let us
like
know.
You're not.
He's
gonna
not
say.
actually going to answer.
Oh,
All right.
come on.
Come on. High Voltage.
Well,
Let us.
I guess we'll have to do like a post-credit scene if we.
I'm looking. I want
we got it
I want
right.
an answer here. I want an answer here from him. You
He
can't
just
leave us in
dropped that
suspense.
and
He's
then
just,
left the stream.
Boom! I'm a phantom, and he just.
That's so rude, y'all.
It's super rude. He said, I'm waiting for. You'd think he would have given us a response. Oh, he says right here, 138. Libby
Hey.
got it.
Wow.
There you
Wow.
go, right there.
That's
Let's-
a
Thank
nice
you for the big
change
super
haul.
chat
There you go.
from your
So-
spare change fund.
That's
That's
good.
pretty sweet.
All right, guys, we'll do this as a post-credit scene, so stay tuned for that. Guys, we will be back with another episode on Monday. We will see you then.
Bye.
Later, guys. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Fourth crisis party. One from Chris C. says, woke up late. Here to help cause a hostage party. Let's go. Hi, Libby. And also one from Trauma Llama. He says, I love Libby. Guys, we'll see you on Monday.